They changed the countdown music. It was nice and smooth. I don't know what's going on there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the March 2025 live wrap up for Hack the Movies. It's going to be a fun night. Sorry we're late. It's all Gil's fault. And as you'll find out throughout the stream, we have a lot of problems with Gil. But before we have him on here, we got to bring on our boy. Hey,
Oh,
what?
I was just waiting for you.
What were you doing?
Nothing. What are you doing?
What were you
Happy
doing
to
with
be
Grimace?
here. I was just setting him up.
For the show?
Welcome to the monthly wrap up, everybody. We're happy
welcome
you're
to the
here.
monthly wrap up. I'm excited to be here.
Woo!
It's great seeing you, Joey. But we got to bring on Gil. Hello, Gil.
Joey, I fell on the sword for you. I came up with this technical issues excuse to give you enough time to finish up whatever you were doing there.
Good.
But I do have to
Thanks.
say, I feel pretty important that me, a mere one man, can have some technical issues, and it brings the entire Hack the Movies machine to a halt.
You know what's funny? Like, this is the first time in a while where I've had time to really prep for. I'm not doing slides last minute. Everything was fine. I'm like, oh, it's 8:00. Here we go. And Gil's like, oh, wow, the audio's in two different headphones. And oh, no, my microphone is over there. And I'm like, of course, the one day I get it right. The one day I get it
Usually
right.
I'm ready. It's like 7:40 and I'm sitting. It's the saddest thing in the world to be in a StreamYard link by yourself.
Alone. That happens every month.
Like, hello, can anybody hear me?
Just
Tony?
sitting there going, oh boy.
Oh, yeah. What a month it has been, guys. It's been a very busy month for Tony. I had a nice break, though, guys. There were a couple days where I didn't have to work that much. I was throwing my lungs up, but, got to sleep a little bit. I still had to do cameos for people. That was annoying.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was.
Joey, you're lucky. My cameo for your video, I was only slightly dying. I don't know if you saw my cameo in Adam's 100,000 sub
I
video.
did, yep.
I was the last person. He's like, Tony, it's down to the wire. I'm like, I'm going to do everything I can to get out of bed and do this for you, Adam. I couldn't get out of it. I did my call in from the bed. I'm just like, Adam, I'm so sorry. I can't get out of bed.
You texted
my,
me and said you were dead.
my wonderful nieces, they gave me the gift of a beautiful stomach virus, and it just swept through my entire family. So that was great. That was great. How was your guys' month?
It was pretty good. Apparently, Tony, your audio is left only. Not sure what's going on with that, but that's really affected my month a lot.
I called it. I told you.
You knew
Nobody
it!
believed me.
I told you I was deaf in one ear. I couldn't.
How is that
really-
possible?
I hear
I
it.
think.
I hear
What
it.
could cause that?
Hello.
Yeah, just one ear.
Oh
Well,
my God.
While Tony works on that, I'll say that I felt really bad, Joey, when you asked me for that cameo for your Like Mike versus Ernest Plays Basketball video.
Yeah.
And I sent you the file. The file name was TonySucks.mov.
Yeah, you did.
And then 10 minutes later, I see a tweet where Tony's dying. And I told you, I feel kind of bad about that file now, even though he'll never see it. I don't feel bad anymore
no.
after I saw what he submitted.
Oh, I saw it. How do I sound? Is it still coming out of the one
Still
channel?
left ear only.
How is that possible?
Let me think.
What were you just saying about no technical issues?
The one time I got everything right, except he didn't get anything right this time. It's all left.
Tony, plug it out and plug it back.
Hey, wait, while
Plug
he
it
does that,
out
I can
and
also
plug it back
tease.
in.
I have a big announcement
Yeah.
for the end of the stream. I'll save it. Really exciting announcement. Even Tony doesn't know about it. Joe, even you don't know about it.
Whoa.
But I think
Okay.
people are really going to love it.
Okay. Am I still one channel?
Yes.
Wait, we'll find out.
Son of a bit.
How does
Try
it
try
hear?
again. Let me just hear if you're quiet in one ear or actually totally silent.
Hello.
Yeah, I only got you in the one ear.
Do I have to go out and come back in?
Did you unplug the mic completely and plug it back in?
Yeah.
And that didn't fix it. That is weird.
That's the dad way.
Should I unplug the audio box and plug it back in?
Possibly. And Joey and I can vamp for a couple minutes.
Real
Yeah,
quick, if I leave studio, it won't end the stream, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think it does because I've accidentally left the studio before.
Yeah, it won't end.
Oh, wait, in your settings, can you click off stereo or mono?
Let me see.
Audio.
Stereo audio. Okay.
Hey,
There we
that
go.
did it.
Why was that even on?
fixed it, baby.
Why is that even an option?
Why was that even on?
I don't know. That's terrible.
Okay. All of that is going to be cut out. That is exclusive to this stream. Later on, that's all going to be cut out because I don't want to piss off the audio listeners as well and the people watching on repeats. So we're just going to start over, all right?
Yeah, nobody clip that and share it around.
Nobody
Let's
clip
all
that.
Tweet it at us.
Be cool. about
Nobody
this.
clip that and upload it as Tony has a mic issue. Let's just rewind here. You know what? You know what, guys? Wow! Hello, everyone! For the first time tonight, welcome to the March 2025 wrap-up show. Everything's going great. There are no mic issues on this show. It's the only live show that has no technical issues. And I'm excited to talk about some of the new releases coming out this month. But first, we got to bring on everyone's favorite co-host, Joey C.
Hey, yeah, I like what you did with the countdown bit again. That's really funny, man.
What countdown bit? That was the first time we did a countdown. There was no bit.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. It was just a welcome to the monthly wrap-up show, everybody. How
Why do
are
you have
ya?
so many Elmos? What do you?
Oh, those are my sons.
Oh, you have a son. I surprised I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's 2. Or
Okay,
whatever.
this bit is going on too long. Hi, Gil. How are you?
I gotta say, Tony, that was really professional. The way Joey did a purely visual gag, and you're like, I'm thinking about the listeners. What are you doing with all those 3 Elmos? It's theater of the mind. I love it.
You know, I've really taken a page out of Netflix's book where you just have to describe things because people aren't actually watching.
Classic.
Right?
Oh
Gil,
my
do you
God,
agree as you laugh right there.
Yes.
I am agreeing.
Listen, Joey, who has a Grimace statue behind him, I got something to say to you. No, this is a fun month we've had. Did you guys know I was violently sick this month? Did you guys know that?
Boy, did I. I got a detailed description.
Yes. No, guys, legit, it was bad. And you know the worst part? I was at Neshaminy Creek Brewery, which I will be back at next week. I'll talk about that in a second. And I was talking to Joe from Movie Dumpster and his wife, and I was like, hey guys, you know what's like cool? Now that I don't work in an office, I like rarely get sick. I've only gotten a cold a few times. And I shit you not, 4 hours later, I was jumping out of my bed. I didn't make it to the bathroom. I threw up all over my wall. So yeah, I didn't make it. And I was just like, and as I'm throwing up, I was like, why did I say that earlier? Why did I say that?
You
I didn't get
jinxed
to
it so bad.
I didn't get to celebrate St. Patty's Day. That was a bummer. I laid on a couch watching Leprechaun movies, which honestly is how I celebrate.
Yeah, I
St.
feel like
Patty's Day.
you vomiting and watching Leprechaun movies sounds like just a normal St. Patrick's Day for you.
The Leprechaun part is normal. Usually I will do it while drinking and then go out, but no, it was just Leprechaun.
And then the vomiting is at like 3 a.m. after you
Ew.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad.
Partying.
But anyway, this is our wrap up here. These are some of the things we're going to be talking about tonight. But guys, we got to talk about Patreon, everyone's favorite part of the show. Patreon, guys, you are now talking to Ambassador Tony from Hack the Movies.
Whoa.
Hack the Movies ambassador. I'm in the creator ambassador program. I keep Gil. It keeps getting more funny because I'm on my onboarding thing. And they're like, yeah, there's less than 300 ambassadors, and I'm like, how am I here? What am I doing here? What? Like, what did I do?
Here?
But I think retroactively, you now have the authority to bring uninvited guests to Patreon events.
I think
Exactly.
now
so
I
we can
do.
finally
Now I
cross
do.
that off the list.
Until they
Excuse
find
me.
out and kick you off.
Excuse me, I'm an ambassador. Thank you very much.
I hope they're watching this. So, like, one of our most important ambassadors. Let's see what he's up to. I was slipping on my own vomit, watching Leprechaun movies.
Ew.
But yeah, consider joining the Patreon. We have some crazy stuff going on there. I am like reworking the Patreon now. I'm going back to all the old movie reviews on Patreon, uploading them natively, because then I can have an audio podcast for all of them. So if you want to listen to them on the go, that will be an option. It's going to take a while, but I'm currently doing that. But we got some new exciting things on there. The Final Destination, aka Final Destination 4. It's got 2 titles. The review is up early. I did that with Casey and Tess Givnish, who's a wonderful artist. You've probably seen her work on Instagram. She's at Monster Mania every year. So that is up early now. You can watch it right now, guys. Right
Whoa.
now. We should all just watch it right now.
I already did.
Oh, good job.
Me too.
This month I put up a review for Nosferatu in Venice. Guys, if you ever wanted to know what happened to Nosferatu after the original story, he apparently got Italian. It's
Nice.
It's abysmal. It's clearly an unfinished movie, and you can tell by major actors like Donald Pleasance and Christopher Plummer just disappearing from the film. So yeah, check out the Patreon for that. There's also a new episode of Blade Boys. Guys, the show gets worse the more it goes on. Can you believe it?
I cannot believe that. That's shocking.
I'm
can't believe-
impressed that it even has, that it started at a point where there was room for it to drop in quality.
It started low and it keeps getting lower. Blade hits several women throughout the episode, including a woman who ends up not being pregnant, but he thinks she's pregnant. That's how the episode starts.
Ooh.
So check that out. That was a good time. And yes, guys, you might be wondering, Tony, why was Snow White not on the list?
Yeah, I found that kind of weird.
Well, real quick, Gil, are you a 5-year-old little girl?
Today? No.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So you're not a 5-year-old girl. Joey, are you a 5-year-old little girl?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay. So none of us are 5-year-old little girls. Therefore, none of us had a reason to see the new Snow White in theaters or have an opinion about it. But a lot of people wanted me to talk about Snow White. So I remembered that they made a Snow White for adults in the 90s. And we did Snow White, A Tale of Terror, starring Sigourney Weaver, Sam Neill, and the lady from Freddy vs. Jason. It's got Snow White. She meets one dwarf and his 6 kind of rapey friends. It's a film for adults. Me and Crystal, we did a review of it on Patreon. You can watch it right now. Have you guys ever seen this one?
Nope. Now I have to watch it.
It's actually not bad. A lot of the characters suck, but Sigourney Weaver as the evil witch is incredible. She is like it's shot really well. It's kind of got like, it's in that same vein as like Dracula and Frankenstein from the 90s, how they took like an older thing and made it edgier. But it really works. Sigourney Weaver totally crushes it. So yeah, check out that review. Again, a movie for grown-ups, not a Disney princess movie, guys, I just can't.
They did what to my Snow White?
Guys,
Whoa.
it's
It's a
been,
classic.
I looked, I'm like, when did the modern Disney remake things start? Not counting 101 Dalmatians and Jungle Book from the 90s. It was 2010 with Alice in Wonderland. This has been going on for 15 years, just shitty live action remakes, and everyone's still mad. I'm like, guys, you had like maybe like 8 years to be mad. It's done. We're done. We don't care anymore. They ruined Snow White. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. I love the people like Vito are like, yeah, it's really going to show Disney. I'm like, no, Lilo and Stitch is going to make $1 billion. Disney won't care. Disney will not care. So yeah, check out all the stuff we have on Patreon. You get some merch when you subscribe at the $10 tier for a few months. Joey C, you have a new video.
Whoa, look at that. Look at that
Yes,
thumbnail.
this is Joey C's ongoing series of stupid Ernest thing no one remembers versus child film no one cares about. I love those videos. Those are my favorite videos you do, Joey.
As they should be.
And guys, if you ever wanted to know all my political views and my views on society and where I stand on Ukraine, I decided, because, the Oscars were this month, I decided to air all my political views by hijacking Joey C's Slam Dunk Ernest versus Like Mike video. And I thought my good friends would back me up, but Gil, you seem to have some disagreements with everything I said in the video. I don't know why you had an issue with the things that I said.
Well, Tony, I hope you enjoy Daredevil and all those court scenes, because you're going to see what it's like in person.
Hey, I put a note from the lawyer at the end of the inserts.
Do you ever start a sentence, you have no idea how you're going to finish it? You're
Yeah.
like, throw in random pop culture reference.
Yep, that was it. Fun fact. Gil and Adam thought they were going to be real funny and record videos about how they were just going to disagree with everything I said. But they didn't count on Joey sending me the videos. So then I just said all the correct, woke, politically correct things you're supposed to say. And then it cuts to Adam and Gil being like, Tony doesn't know what he's talking about.
I think the oversight was on Joey's part. I thought there was a couple big flaws in your plan.
I thought Tony was going to be like, oh yeah, Slam Dunk Ernest fucking sucks. It's the worst movie ever. Like Mike was a classic from my childhood. And I thought it was going to be a fun little, cute little thing between the boys.
You
And
forgot
my
who you're
video
dealing
was
with.
No,
hijacked.
Joey, you handed me gold. I'm like, wait, you mean I can say whatever I want and then we'll cut to footage of Adam and Gil saying, I disagree? I'm like, oh, of course I'm going to set them up.
This is my best editing ever. Oh my God.
It's been a difficult month for me because usually I avoid controversy at all costs. But recently, so there was this,
Yeah.
and then I guested on another podcast recently.
Which
Sorry,
I will
Tony.
be guesting on.
It's locked in.
Yeah, I had to
Exciting.
delay it. I have to pick a movie, but
Okay.
I was supposed to get back to them, and then, like I said earlier, I threw up most of the month, so
Yes.
that got delayed. But anyway, what were you saying about what did you do on this podcast?
Yeah, so we talked about, I was like, I don't know, let's pick like an easy one. I was like, Kingdom of Heaven director's cut. Nothing controversial. And then I'm like, let's watch this movie, see what it's all about. And it's all about all the different people who feel they have a claim to Jerusalem, who
Why
should
would
have it.
You didn't
And
know
then
that
it's a
going in?
3-hour conversation, including one person who apparently has very strong feelings on the matter. So if you want to watch me tap dance for 3 hours to try and avoid staking any kind of claim on any issue, it's a massive two-parter. Part 1 is over on Reviewing History. Part 2 on the One Take Podcast.
Wow.
Gil, how did you not know that?
I don't know, Tony.
You're in trouble this month, Gil.
All right,
Kingdom
we'll
of
cancel
Heaven
Gil.
it sounds wonderful, like a very happy place.
No. I haven't seen that in a long time. That was like one of the cases where like the theatrical cut was kind of butchered, which I'm glad you bring that up because this month I will be talking about a theatrical cut of a Ridley Scott film and a director's cut of the same film on another channel. You're going to have to stay tuned for what that is. Yes, what else happened? Oh, I was on Video Villa. We talked about Dr. Sleep. I finally read the Dr. Sleep book. Movie's better. But yes, check out that video. It's really, really good. The Hack Academy Awards were this month. Guys, I lost. I lost again. I had to do another video written by Adam.
It's AI. I don't believe it.
I did not win. I went all in on Amelia Perez. 13 nominations. I thought it was Money in the Bank. It was not. She won 2, and that was it. I totally screwed up. I'm going to get one of them right. At some point, I have to win, right?
Is this going to be an
Hopefully.
annual tradition?
Oh, 100%. We had fun
Good.
doing the Hack Academy Awards. And yeah, I think this is lastly. Yes, Crypt Video Rentals is doing a wrestling event at the Chamonix Creek Brewery. I will be there April 4th and 5th. And guys, I will have at my table Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle, the wrestler, is going to be at my table. Could you believe it?
Wow, that's amazing, Tony.
I know. Like I thought I remember I had his number, so I went through my phone and I texted. He's in my phone as smallest wrestler ever. And I said, "Hey, buddy, you want to like come to the event?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." Actually, let me text them now. Hey, Hornswoggle, do you want to come on the show? Oh no, guys! It
What?
turns out the smallest wrestler in the world is Kit Osborne. I've been texting Kit Osborne this whole time.
Oh my God.
You have egg on your face. How's that crow taste, Tony?
Well, I guess Kid Osborne will be with us at the CVW event, the Crip Video Wrestling event at the Chamonix Creek Brewery, April 4th and 5th. Hornswoggle will not be there, but Al Snow will be, so that'll be fun. All right, guys, let's get into the reviews. Actually, before the reviews, Joey C., what's the name of the game?
Tony, the name of the game, folks, is Super Chats. If you want me or the crew to whisper sweet nothings into your ear, send us a Super Chat, and we will. Within reason, folks, Tony has a history of getting channels deleted, so we're going to be very, very careful.
Yes, please.
Good Lord.
Please don't ask Gil to talk about who owns Israel. Do not do it this month. This is not the month to do it.
Let's wait till April at least.
April 1,
Give me a couple weeks.
Now I gotta watch that Kingdom of Heaven review, and you're like, and they have a disagreement, and then you just move on. Yes, Mickey 17, directed by oh God, how do you say his name?
I'm not.
I'll let you hang yourself on this rope.
Yeah,
Bong Joon-ho. Is that how you say it?
sure.
We're gonna go with that. Yes, wonderful director. Did Snowpiercer, The Host, Parasite. He's back with a new film. It's in English, thank God, because that little 1-inch bar of text, I just can't get over it, and it stops me from experiencing many films. I refuse to read subtitles. I'm making fun of his Oscar victory speech. He did that whole thing, and I was like, shut up, just dub your movies. Anyway, Mickey 17 tells the story of Robert Pattinson, who volunteers to be an expendable on a space expedition, where he gets sent through a bunch of experiments and tests and dangerous missions. And every time he dies, they just print out a new version of him. And it kind of sucks, but it's a living, I guess. But one day, he accidentally gets they mistakenly think he's dead, and they print out another guy. Suddenly, there's duplicates, which are banned in this society. Yeah, so now there's this whole issue. They're trying to hide from each other. It explores like this whole like idea of like, if you had another you, like, are you the right person? Do you both have souls? It asks a lot of questions. It's got a bunch of wacky characters. Mark Ruffalo is like the president of this expedition. Toni Collette's his wife. Yeah, it's just a wacky, fun time. But I feel like people aren't liking it. Joey, what did you think?
You know, I really wanted to see it because the trailer looked fucking hilarious. But like, it really wasn't what I was expecting. Like, I thought the whole 17 meeting 18 thing was going to be like a quick bit based on the trailer. But that turned out to be like the whole fucking bit of the movie.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like this whole thing trying to stop the evil man from killing an entire population of creepers, I think they called it.
Yeah. They're like little, they're like furry little roly-poly things.
Yeah, it's just like not what I expected at all. I just expected it to be like this goofy comedy of this guy who keeps getting killed and like hijinks ensues. But I come to find out, I think it has some sort of like racism, sexism, classism commentary. I don't know. I was just a bit confused.
Did you see Parasite? Just a heads up.
Yeah.
Did you see Parasite?
Yeah.
Parasite was the same way, where it would be wacky at some moments and then get like real serious in others. Gil, what did you think of Mickey 17?
I thought it was a good movie that was interrupted every 10 to 15 minutes by a terrible SNL sketch starring Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette. Yeah, my younger brother saw it before I did, and he texted me after, and he was like, I hate Hollywood. He was like in such a mood where he wasn't even making sense. He was ranting and raving, and I'd never seen him so angry about a movie. And then when I saw it this morning, I understand why. because usually a movie's either bad or good. But I feel like this one is genuinely pretty good. But then every 10 to 15 minutes, the movie's like, you having a good time? Are you taking this movie seriously? Stop it. Here are two really annoying characters that are making really obvious and on the nose political commentary. And you get lulled into enjoying the movie, and then they come back. And then by the end, they're so intertwined with the last like 20-minute climax of the movie that I did leave really frustrated. If I take a step back and look at it objectively, I do think they did a lot of things right, but it's just too hard to enjoy. It's not only that, there also is, like Joey, you were saying, it does feel a little all over the place. There's a scene about halfway through, I forget his kind of girlfriend's name in the movie, but she becomes like this really selfish, like drug-addled person for about 10 minutes. But leading up to that point and everything after that point, I feel like is totally incongruous with that. And yeah, it feels pretty random and frustrating. So I left, I feel like it was okay, but very unenjoyable for those reasons.
I enjoyed pretty much all of it. I will agree. Not so much Mark Ruffalo. Not so much his character. Like for the most part, I actually dug those two characters. They were kind of fun. But yeah, the movie would be good for a stretch, and then it would start to like veer off in like a weird like tangent, I guess, because then you're right, his girlfriend gets real selfish. She has a very big character change. She's trying to have like three ways with the two guys,
Right.
and then it course corrects. It goes back to the way it was supposed to be going, and I'm like, what was that whole issue there? And then there's like a thing earlier with the mob boss that they're running away from, and you forget about that for a long time, and then it comes back like toward the end. I'm like, I don't think we needed this.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. That was just a thing to get them on the ship. I don't think we ever needed to circle back to it. So you're right, it does trail off here and there, but eventually it gets back on track. For the most part, I really enjoyed it. I dug the visuals of it. Everything looked great. The effects looked great. Even the monsters look good. Robert Pattinson in his weird squeaky voice was entertaining.
I really liked him in the movie. I thought he was
Yeah,
great.
me too.
It's not the most original thing. We've seen other films with like space societies and like colonies. I think Moon did a similar thing where they were cloning Sam Rockwell, right? Did you ever see Moon?
Yeah, that was a great movie.
Yeah, Moon was really good. They did like a spiritual successor to Moon, I think.
Yeah, it was another movie that takes place in the same universe and makes reference to it. So there are little moments, I think, that provide some follow-up. I never saw it. I heard it was awful. Straight to Netflix, I think.
Someone let me know what that movie was.
I think it's called Mute,
yeah, because
I
think they mentioned Sam Rockwell coming back to Earth or something in that one. I heard about it. But yeah, I had a good time. I really had no problems with the movie, but I'm seeing people like really hate. Is it just the Mark Ruffalo character they're hating?
I think I did a quick glance at like the headline reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and a lot of the negative ones were basically Toni Collette and Mark Ruffalo are just an annoying interruption to the movie. At least at a glance, that's what I was seeing. Oh, and to the person saying how the character was drugged and that's why she changed her personality, I agree with that, but I just don't see the point. I don't know why we needed that whole sequence.
Yeah, Toni Collette was not the best in it. I didn't mind her, but like, I usually really like her. She's great
She's good
in movies. So I kept expecting more from her, and she was just Sauce Lady. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, the sauce thing too. Yeah.
I wanted more from this. Mark Ruffalo's like fake teeth and everything. I enjoyed it. I did see some people, they're like, this is clearly a shot at Trump. I'm like, no, religious cult leader dudes have been a thing in movies for a very, very long time.
I do think the impression is hard to miss. Like there are certain points where I'm like, that's clearly somebody doing an impression.
Sure. But I mean, there are like mega church leaders that have like the fake teeth and everything. I saw it more as that. I didn't see it from that point of view. Steven Yeun was good, but he's like barely in it. He's another one. He disappears for like long stretches, and then he comes back.
And you forget he's even in there. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought they were gonna do more with like him being killed over and over again. Throughout
what I thought the whole movie was about. That's
up until there's two of them, and then it's not about that anymore. Yeah. So I think it might be a bit uneven, but overall, I really liked it. It was a new original sci-fi property, and I gave it a chance. That is a thing people are noticing. It's like everyone always complains. They're just complaining on Twitter, which isn't real. But they're like, everyone complains that there's too many remakes, and then things come out and no one sees them.
Yeah, like Novocaine, this.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, like, okay, we watched like Brave New World the other month.
Yeah.
Mickey 17 is better than Brave New World. I think it's
Yeah.
worth seeing, and I don't
I agree.
disagree with anything you said, Tony. It kind of just depends on your tolerance for the negative aspects of the movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of the whole like theater issue is that a lot of these movies just go streaming, like available to rent or streaming really, really quick.
This was supposed to be streaming, I think, like 2 days ago, and they just delayed it like another week or two. But I was shocked when I saw that it was going to be. I was going to go watch it like on streaming a couple days ago. But
Honestly, that is what's probably hurting theaters. It's like, well, I could just watch it at home. I know they had to do it during COVID, but like that window is just getting it. I mean, it used to be same day. They moved on from that a little bit. But yeah, that window is getting closer and closer. There are some times where I'm like, I really want to see that movie, but like, do I want to go to the theater or do I want to wait a month from now until it's streaming? How bad do I want to see this movie? I really wanted to see this one. Like you said, Joey, the trailer was great. It's got a really good director. I saw it in IMAX, which was fun. But yeah, I think everyone needs to give it a chance. It's very, very enjoyable. And Robert Pattinson needs something to do until he plays Batman again 10 years from now.
Yeah, literally, if that.
I remember somebody tweeted as a joke. They're like, the Batman 2 delayed till 2027. And at the time, everyone's like, "Ha, ridiculous." And now it's genuinely not coming out till 2027.
It's looking like that.
Well, that was a pre-COVID one, right? Wasn't that one they shot before COVID? The Batman.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So then it took a while for it to come out. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. At least we got that Penguin show. But yeah, I guess moving on. Any last words on Mickey 17? I say see it, maybe not in theaters, but definitely check it out when it's a rental.
Yeah, I would give it a
agree.
shot.
Yeah. Again, if you like Parasite, Host, and all those other movies, it's worth it. You know, I've actually never seen Snowpiercer.
Really?
I've just never seen it.
You should see it.
Yeah,
you
see it.
Should I watch the TV show as well?
I would skip that one.
But Jennifer Connelly's in it.
You're right.
Oh, okay. I also
That
never
is
saw
accurate.
Okja. Next up, Queen of the Ring. Gil, were you able to see this one?
No, I tried, but I couldn't.
I didn't realize how limited it was going to be. All right, so on Instagram, this is a movie I was always going to check out. I wasn't sure if I was going to put it on the wrap up. But on Instagram, I asked people, like, what's coming out this month? And I forgot we have, like, a big wrestling audience. And a bunch of them were like, Queen of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. It's a wrestling biopic. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I put it on. I saw it the week it came out. I'm like, oh, yeah, great. Everyone's going to have a chance to see it. And then it was, like, gone pretty quick. And I was like, oh, shit, maybe I shouldn't have put that on the list. My bad. But Joe, you saw it, right?
Yep, it was great, man.
Yes, it tells the true story of Mildred Burke, and like the birth of like women's wrestling in America, the sports entertainment version of wrestling. But they talk about it's very educational. Obviously, they've changed some things. I didn't look up the actual story, but I could just it's one of those things where you watch enough biopics where you're like, that's changed. I bet you it didn't happen like that. I know she worked with black wrestlers in real life. But I doubt that they were best friends right off the bat like they were in the movie because this is like in the 50s. I'm like, I don't know if they were best friends day one. So yeah, there's some modern revisionist stuff in here. But yeah, I actually really like the main actress, Emily Bett Rickards, I think her name is. I mean, that is her name. I just don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. She was on Arrow. She was one of the main characters on Arrow.
Oh.
And then she like left the last season. And then came back for the finale. It's like, you could have just do one more season? What the hell? But I always liked her. And then she like just disappeared for a few years. And now she's back in movies again. There was one that went to Tubi with Stephen Amell in a terrible wig called Calamity Jane. And I saw the trailer. I'm like, I might skip that one.
Even his expression is like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, that one looked bad. But this movie was totally solid. I like the story of her trying to become like the first like big woman's wrestler. She meets other wrestling legends. What's it called? Her trainer. God, what's his name? Oh God, why don't I have his name? Why is he not showing up on IMDb? He's like the main character of the movie.
Does
Josh
this movie even
Lucas.
exist?
Yes, Josh Lucas is Billy Wolf. He takes her under his wing, and of course he sleeps with her and then marries her. There's a lot of like romance and drama and stuff there. She's married to him, but she's in love with his son. It's very, very all over the place. Yeah, she ends up becoming friends with other wrestlers. Deborah Ann Wall from Daredevil is one of them. She plays Gladys Gillum. And then who played? All right,
Glad she's in something. She's not going to be in Daredevil.
And Francesca Eastwood plays Mae Young, who is probably the most famous female wrestler of all time.
Easily.
And it definitely does the biopic thing, being like, what was your name? Mae Young?
It's so
and they really like
fucking
linger
funny.
on it because they know that is one the audience will recognize.
It's like when you're shooting a prequel to a movie and you're referencing
yeah,
something coming.
exactly.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Gil, because she meets this wrestler named George. And she goes, you know what, George, you're gorgeous. And he ends up being professional wrestler, Gorgeous George.
Chewbacca, I'm calling you Chewie from this point forth.
But no, I actually think it was a solid little biopic. It gets cheesy here and there. It's definitely low budget, but it looks like a movie. Joey C, what did you think?
Yeah, I think it's a really fucking cool, like, period wrestling piece. And obviously, as a big wrestling fan, it's hard to fuck up a wrestling movie for me. But it really is like your typical biopic, and you can tell it's low budget. But I do think it has some nice charm to it. But by God, there are some corny and like formulaic motivational speeches in there that I was cringing at.
Yeah, there was one. So there was one moment where like, so Billy Wolf, he like beats her throughout the film several times. He like gets drunk and beats her, and her face is all messed up and stuff. She's like, you gotta like quit wrestling, you gotta like divorce him or sue him or something. She's like, no, I have to appear strong for all the little girls who look up to me. I'm like, I get that now, but like in the 50s, these little girls probably like watching you in the moment, and then they probably forget about you afterwards. Like, I don't think if a fandom was like how it is now back then, that was clearly put in for like a modern audience. I actually thought it was interesting that they were at the end. They're like, yeah, Billy Wolf, he was a bit of a piece of shit, but he did get women's wrestling started. I'm like, wow, a movie actually acknowledged that you could be problematic and still actually like have done something to help something.
Yeah, I was really shocked to see that ending. But I do feel like if you're a wrestling fan, you'll notice that like the choreography of the wrestling is like pretty fucking weak. But I think for like the casual viewer, if they even see this, I do think it's good enough. Yeah. I think the biggest problem that I had with this movie is not even the over like dramatized moments, but it's the fact that it was, I think, way too long. I feel like this could have been wrapped up in 90 minutes.
I did not expect it to be that long. Dude,
and the other thing is they didn't even fucking make the actors look any older as time went on. That really pissed me off.
It really did confuse me. Okay, yeah, Gil, hold on. Let me go back right here. Okay.
Also, I love how backhanded this review is. Like, Tony, your whole opening spiel where you gave your thoughts ended with, it looks like a movie. No, was that supposed to be like a positive?
Yes. Because if you saw that trailer for that Calamity Jane movie, it doesn't look like a movie.
Okay, that's fair.
But real quick, Gil, this guy on the right here, that is her son, teenage son.
Okay.
You get to see him as a baby, and she looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, in 18 years, she may be aged a day. Like, they barely age her up at all.
So bad. It's so fucking bad.
It's got a decent cast in there, though. You got Martin Kove from The Karate Kid. He has a part in it. Walton Goggins is in it. He's like a big wrestling promoter. You have some real life wrestlers. Britt Baker and Mickey James have roles, and then Tony Storm plays a pretty prominent character in the film. And Jim Cornette is in it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Joey C, do you think, Gil? I know you don't know who Jim Cornette is. Do you think, because there's a lot of leftist actresses in this, do you think they tried their best to hide every negative comment Jim Cornette has said and gotten canceled for the last 5 years?
1000%. Absolutely.
Jim Cornette still has me blocked on Twitter.
That is hilarious.
What happened? Is this like ripping open an old wound?
Well, no, I just called him a cuck because apparently he is.
No.
Apparently.
I've never heard about that.
Wait, you didn't hear about this? Okay,
I've
so
never heard
allegedly a
that.
few years ago, this story broke that allegedly when he was in charge of like upcoming talent in WWE, he like forced a bunch of wrestlers to like sleep with his ugly wife unless they wanted to get ahead. And this whole story broke. And I just had a little, he's like a shit talker on Twitter, so I thought I'd have fun. I called him a cuck and then now I'm blocked. But you know what's funny? YouTube shows you like other channels your audience watches, and apparently my audience really likes Jim Cornette's wrestling channel. And now I can never do a crossover with him because I called him a cuck. What's going on here?
Do you ever look at what your audience also watches,
Yeah.
and then you're disappointed? You see a certain channel and you're like, really? Like I'm in the same company as that channel? But you click on it. Oh, here, an example. I won't name a channel, but you click on one and it's all AI voiceover and like clearly AI generated videos. And I'm like, so on a day-to-day basis, you're like, I'm either going to watch Gil or I'm going to watch this. And the choices are like equal, you know?
Do you want me to
That's
say
sad.
mine? I'll just say mine here. Let's see. The top ones for the last 28 days. Movie Dumpster. Okay, that makes sense.
It makes
Shocker.
sense. That's good.
Cinema Snob. Double Toasted, which people have mentioned to me before. I think I got accused of ripping them off once just because I did a similar topical video. Joe Blow Horror Originals. Good bad flick. So I like that like 3 of my friends are on the top ones here. And then Jason Brandt, Cody Leach, Planet CHH, which I think I was on. Brandon Tenold, Hats Off Entertainment. All these way bigger. Oh, wow. Adam Does Movies. He's on page 3.
I can't believe I don't crack the top 10.
Same.
Oh, that is weird. Guys, why are you not watching Gil's channel?
Why am I coming on these streams?
Yeah, what is he getting out of it?
But yeah, solid biopic. You're right, Joey. It's a little too long. I think if I was watching it at home, the length wouldn't have gotten to me as much.
I agree.
Thank you
I
for
agree.
eating on a broadcast, by the way. That's great.
I love the see when you clip these out of context and then people find the clips who don't know your channel at all. And so there was one where I think Joey and maybe Crystal were both eating and somebody was like, what is going on with half the co-hosts eating? Well, what is wrong with you guys? You unprofessional? Don't know how to run a show? They miss all the context leading up. See, if they knew the context, they would see how hilarious a punchline that was.
Well, that's why in all the clipped reviews I have, check out the full episode. So they go back and they check it out. One last thing about Queen of the Ring. There is a great line in here. Another prequel biopic, and he's going for fucking Girl Scout cookies. Joey, come on, man.
Wait, Tony, is this true? Someone's saying in the chat here, you don't link to One Take. That's the problem. You have to put the link in the description.
I don't link to any of these.
All right, please.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
froze
interrupted,
him.
but you were chastising Joey for eating anyway, so I figured if I'm going to say it, now's the time.
I don't link to any. Okay, anyway. There's a great moment, right, where she's having a very public divorce, and they're working it into the storylines. And this man is like, I don't agree with putting personal drama in storylines. And Mildred goes, I'm sorry, sir. Who are you? And he goes, I'm Vincent McMahon. And my son, Vince Jr., is loving everything you're doing. And it's like,
I booed.
There we go. There it is. We were waiting for it.
Yeah, we were waiting for it the entire time.
The entire movie, and I'm pretty sure they were like, thank God this movie takes place when he was a child, and we don't have to address anything that's been going on with Vince McMahon. But yeah, check it out. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll dig it. If you're into girl power feminist stories, you'll dig it. If you just looking at beefy, muscly broads, you'll dig it. And yeah, next up, Oh God, I forgot. I went back on the slides. Next up, pictures of Deborah Ann Woll. Next up, Novocaine. Novocaine tells the story of Nathan Kane, who can't feel pain, as the tagline says there. Yes, he has a rare condition where he can't feel any pain, so he lives a miserable life because he never knows when he's in danger or not. He falls in love with the hot chick from Prey, and she gets kidnapped by a bunch of Santa Clauses, and it's up to him to avenge her, to go and rescue her with the help of the guy from the Spider-Man movies,
Yeah.
who's his online friend because he doesn't have real life friends.
He plays basically the same role in this as he does in Spider-Man. the guy in the
Exactly.
shirt.
He does.
Yeah.
And yeah, Novocaine goes on an adventure. Hijinks ensue. He gets into a lot of brutal fights. And his superpowers, he can't feel pain, but he can get hurt. Although not as much as he probably should have, technically. Yes. I had fun with this. I saw this yesterday. Actually, I had to reschedule seeing this 3 times because the day I was supposed to see it was the day I got horribly sick. And then I kept pushing it off like a day, and I just wasn't getting better. So yeah, I almost didn't see this movie, and I was going to apologize to you guys, but I was able to make it yesterday.
You should have just fought through the pain like Novocaine. I can do it. And you're just throwing up in the theater like, I must for the fans.
Ew.
Yeah, I had fun with this. It's one of those John Wick clones, but a comedic one, which I'm pretty sure there's already been a comedic John Wick.
Some would say John Wick is the comedic John Wick.
So it
by
had,
the end
John
of the
Wick
series.
4 became the comedic
Yeah,
John
it definitely did.
Wick. It is a shame it's really hard to just do straight up comedies these days. They all have to be action comedies. But yeah, other than that, I really had fun with it. I was trying to turn my brain off, but there were some moments where I'm like, even if he can't feel pain, he's not going to be able to walk or use those limbs. Like I know you can't feel, but at some point you've burnt and shattered your knuckles so much that they're just not going to bend anymore. Also, his face would have been super swollen, like after like the first fight. But then if I'm going to nitpick that, then I got to nitpick every superhero or action film ever. Joey C, what did you think of Novocaine?
Well, luckily for you, Tony, I can turn my brain off pretty relatively easy. This movie fucking rocked, dude. Classic beat 'em up, great concept. To your point, action comedies to me are like just the best type of movies to watch. What I really appreciate about it is like they took the time to explain Mr. Kane, who has the Novocaine disease, without making the movie 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And he's really like a grounded superhero because like I think that disease like exists in real life. And I love the love interest lady and Jack Quaid. It feels super fucking natural without like being forced in, which is a problem that I see in a lot of movies. And I think she was a great addition to the movie. But I do feel like the writing and the choreography are better than it should have been for this movie. And the kitchen fight scene stood out especially. I cringed a lot during this movie.
This movie made me cringe more than any other movie. When they were like torturing him, I was like, I don't like that. Real quick,
it's so bad.
I don't want to spoil it, but there is a big twist like midway through that I was not expecting. I went, oh no!
Yep.
I'm like, oh no! So that was fun. Gil, what did you think of Novocaine?
I really enjoyed this movie. I think I've gotten generally pretty sick of action comedy because I feel like action comedy usually just means action, but with a lot of quips thrown in.
Yeah.
But this found a way to bring something unique to the table. The fact that he can't feel pain, they find so many ways to like draw humor out of that. And I also totally agree with you, Joey, the chemistry, and they spend like 20 minutes setting up the romance. And I thought it actually worked pretty well just as a romance. And I thought that was necessary so you'd believe he would push himself to such limits to try and rescue this person. I think you probably could have made the movie a little tighter. Like it went almost 2 hours, and pretty much any time it strayed from Jack Quaid and his not being able to feel pain antics and went into sort of generic comedy, especially when it was focused on the cops, I think you could have lost a lot of that. And if you made the movie tighter, I'd be more likely to want to rewatch it. But the joke didn't get old by the end. Like anytime we were with Jack Quaid, I really enjoyed this movie. So definitely a recommend from me.
Jack Quaid is like killing. I feel like we review a lot of Jack Quaid movies on the show. We did one last month.
Yeah, Companion, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Oh,
he
that's
in
right, yeah.
Companion? Yeah.
By the way, I tested something out on Twitch. Whenever I have a sequel of a movie I'm reviewing, I'm just gonna put a compilation on Twitch the day before. I did it
Oh,
with
smart.
Superman this week. I'm thinking next time we do Jack Quaid, I'm just gonna do a compilation of every Jack Quaid movie I review and just put that up on Twitch. Yeah, I really have nothing negative to say about it. It was just an enjoyable time. He's very charming. She was very good. I guess the villain could have been a little bit better.
They were so bad. They were
he's like,
straight out
"I'm
of
a
Steven
wacky,
Seagal.
crazy guy."
Yeah, it's like where it starts to drag on too long because then you start to spend all that time with the villains at the end, and it sort of just becomes an action movie for the last like 15 to 20 minutes because you
Yeah.
kind of get past all the him pursuing them.
Yeah.
So I think they could have tightened it up, but overall, really enjoyable.
Although the end where they go like a year later and he's just back to being totally fine. I'm like, no, he would not be walking. Like he's playing video games. No, like, no, I saw the damage he did to his hands. He would never use those hands again. Those hands are good. He would be amputated. He went the whole day like getting more and more fucked up, and he's not really sanitizing himself. Like he's got a million infections.
You just see the hand is getting worse and worse throughout the day.
Bigger and
Yeah,
bigger.
really.
That would have been a funny bit.
Well, they at least halfway did it because that hand took so much trauma. And like a few times in the movie, people are like, "What is going on with your hand?"
It's so gross.
Just for once with these like action movies, I do want to see like someone's head swelling up realistically. They never do. You ever see that with like boxers and fighters?
Right.
Yeah, just get massive.
I would
And they
show
just, like, they
I
really
was
sell
actually
the
going to show a
pain.
picture, but then I don't know if YouTube will say like, "Oh, that's violence" or whatever. But yeah, look at the lady, Joanna. I can't pronounce her last name. Look up her picture. She went viral a few years ago because her head like ballooned up during the
Huge.
fight. I just want to see that in an action movie where a guy gets into one fight and for the rest of the movie, he's just got this ballooned up.
Yeah, it might be
thing.
tough in the audience. You're just like, I don't want to like look at it. It's so...
Although in real life, like if you're fighting for like 5 minutes, you're just gonna get tired. You're not gonna be able to go on an adventure afterwards. Like I need to lay down.
No. They explain that. You need an
Oh
EpiPen.
right, he's constantly.
Which I really want to get one of those now. I wanted one after the Batman where he like injects his leg.
Oh
and then
yeah. How many fights are you getting into that you need adrenaline, Gil?
Why do you think I was so late to this? I was about to say meeting.
Meeting.
I'm running
This
late
is
for
a
our meeting,
This
Tony.
is a meeting.
It's very different from the. I used to work in corporate. Like the video calls I used to have,
Yeah.
very different from this one.
Oh, I
They
can
didn't have
imagine.
hashtag cancel Gil in their names.
Not usually.
All right, I think that was 3 movies. Oh, look who decided to show up for the mid-episode super chat. Your mic's not on. Your mic.
Tony, you don't have a leg to stand on to criticize.
I forgot I muted it. What's up? I know. I saw the whole beginning, Tony.
Oh,
like
fuck off. No, you didn't. No,
beginning,
never happened.
beginning.
Never happened. Everyone watching this later will have no idea what anyone's talking about because I'm gonna delete
Nope.
it.
Yeah, this is one of the rare cases where the director's cut is worse than the theatrical cut.
It's gonna take a day because then it takes forever for YouTube to process, and then I gotta go back and change it. But the audio listeners will have no. The audio listeners, you only have
You're gonna be
24
very
hours to see my
confused.
fuck up before I delete it.
Delete it
Let's
forever.
get through some super chats here. Get your super chats in. Oh, good. He started early. Pico Jet Black for $5. Is the rumor true that Tony walks around with no shirt, walking up to women, rubs his inflated gut, and sings "Yummy, yummy, yummy, I got food in my tummy"? No, I don't do that. I also don't think that's a rumor. I think that's just something you made up.
Here, Tony,
I
the
heard-
thing
I
is,
heard a
it
guy
wasn't
say
a
it before.
rumor until now. You just made it
Now
one.
it's a rumor. Now
Yeah.
it's all 3 of you have seen me in public. I've had a shirt on the entire time, and I don't think I walked up to any women
Nope.
saying, "What?"
We went to Coyote Ugly.
That's different. We were inside a place that wasn't public.
It was public.
Oh, that sucked. Anyway, Pico Jet Black for $5 again. Is the rumor true that Tony will shave his bulbous face, dye his hair red, start wearing overalls and tell people that he is their buddy like Chucky?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that.
But if
You
you
think-
want to see it, go to onlyfans.com/activemovies.
Maybe I'll do it for OnlyFans.
I wonder if Pico comes up with these during the stream or like throughout the month. He'll think of a good
Oh, he
one and like write it
probably,
down.
like,
He's got like a
down.
He
notebook.
has them written down in a journal.
The ravings of a madman smeared on his wall.
No, I will not do that. I will never disgrace myself by being a redhead. That's disgusting. Crystal. Well, good news.
Ginger men, yeah.
Crystal, good
Yeah,
news
man.
and bad news. Good news is the Red Sonja movie is finally coming out, and it
I know.
is a white redhead. Can you believe it?
I am very
Holly-
excited about that.
Hollywood gave you one, but Crystal, it took two away from you. Because they're doing single white female,
I
and
know.
they've got Jenna Ortega and Taylor Russell. I feel like they're gonna have to change the title of that film. Like, so you got one
Kinda,
redhead,
sorta.
and they took two other redheads away from you.
Hey.
I'm excited for Red Sonja. I feel like that movie was
It's gonna be really
made
good.
3 years ago, and it's just been sitting.
Who's
I
making that
forgot-
movie? I remember it's like a good filmmaker, right?
I think so, but I feel like it went into production forever ago.
We've been talking about it for a long time.
We wanted to do the original, and then for
Yeah.
a while I thought like it was just not going to do well. But now that they're remaking it, we have an excuse to talk about the original movie. Yeah. When did they start making this fucking thing? No, not 1985. When did it? Oh God, this is movie news hour on the wrap up.
I was wrong. And I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad filmmaker, but I'm just looking at everything else he's done. I haven't seen any of it. Silent Hill, Revelation, Inside Man,
God.
Most Wanted.
Really?
That was bad.
Oh,
Ooh.
That
I
movie
take it
was
back.
That makes me nervous.
Sorry to rain on your parade.
Shut
this
the fuck
could
up,
be,
Bill. What the
you know.
hell? Why'd you do that?
Well, I like to give people second chances, so maybe he'll turn it around with Red Sonja.
There's a couple chances in what you just said.
Wait. Yeah, they started filming this in 2022, and it's just been sitting for like years now. That's either a good or bad sign. We'll find out.
The screenwriter wrote the TV series Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft.
Which I did not watch.
I didn't see, so it could
I
have been
didn't-
great.
yeah.
You know it's bad when I didn't watch, and I'm like a huge Tomb Raider
I
fan.
feel like if it was great, I would have heard about it, but maybe.
I saw the commercial, and I was like, I'll get to it eventually. Probably not. Okay, Pico. We only did 2 super chats so far. Let's get through this. Pico Jet Black for $5. Is the rumor true that Tony exposed himself at a college party? You know what? I'll give it to you. That one was true. I didn't do it on purpose. Just, sometimes things fall out of my pants. Also, please.
What?
I was there. I think Johanna might have been there, where I got like way too drunk and like went to the bathroom and then just didn't pull my pants back up. I just walked into a party. That was the same party where I face planted on a twister mat and blood shot out of my nose all over the mat. That was fun. Also, please review George of the Jungle, Jungle to
Classic.
Jungle, and
Classic.
Jumanji. I will give
Classic.
you one.
I can't believe you've never done Jumanji.
30th anniversary this December.
Classic.
Great pivot, by the
You
way. You didn't
need-
want to linger on that Twister story. So you're like, George of the Jungle.
All three classic movies right there, as far as I'm
Jumanji's the best.
Yeah, I like
Jumanji's
Jumanji.
good.
The CGI monkeys have aged horribly. Everything else in that movie is great, though, and I did not watch any of the new ones starring The Rock.
Oh, I
But
haven't seen those either.
Maybe I will, and I could put my Black Adam Rock figure out on the set and finally have an excuse to show that off. Aussie Dragoon for $5. Hey, Tony, have you heard that best way? I'm going to read your typos. Best way to get over a stomach bug is to review the 1997 film Steel, starring Shaquille O'Neal for a video podcast. I put Steel on the calendar recently, and I think we know who's going to do that one with me. So look forward to that in a few months. Aussie Dragoon for $5. So yeah, you're getting a Steel review. Aussie Dragoon for $5. 2 basketball-related movies and no Steel. Official Joey C. For shame. Hopefully Tony doesn't fall into that trap.
Come on now.
Steel's not a basketball movie. It just stars a basketball player, but it's not a basketball player.
That's why I didn't pick it.
You got to ask Joey C to do the Sixth Man. You got to get him to review that movie. Did you ever see that one?
God, classic.
Where it's a ghost helping out on the basketball court.
Oh, I was thinking of the
AJ
Sixth
Wizzle.
Day.
Huh?
Schwarzenegger.
What was that?
I was thinking it wasn't Schwarzenegger in the Sixth Day. Is that the
That
one
was
where
the
he gets
Sixth Day,
cloned?
yeah,
that
the
was like
Sixth
his
Man.
Mickey 17.
Yeah, yeah, that was that. You know what? Mickey 17 really stole from the Sixth
Seriously.
Day. AJ Wizzle for $1.99. No monkey, no monkey. So AJ Wizzle hated the movie The Monkey, and he's just been going. Yeah, he's been going on a rant on Twitter about it. He will unfollow people who review The Monkey. So Gil,
Even if they say it's a bad movie.
unclear. I think
I had issues with it. I didn't think it was perfect.
Did you?
Yeah, you
review
know
it,
what?
Gil?
I'm gonna say I think it was perfect, AJ Wizzle. There's nothing you can criticize in that movie.
Ugh.
Gil's comments do not reflect Hack the Movies. Do not unfollow over Gil's comments.
Just lost someone.
Gil, you're just
Thanks.
you're
Once
just
again,
wrecked.
Gil.
Gil is
Yeah, well.
so controversial this month.
So I found out that the like 2 years of time I've invested into these live streams, Tony has not even been listing links to our channels in the description. I was wondering, every time we do one of these streams, I'm like, let me check my channel, wait for the views to come in. My views went down, if anything.
You know
No.
what? I always mean to, and I have, and I think I just usually
And
forget.
then you're like,
You
screw
did
those
it in
guys.
the very, very, very beginning. In the very
In the
beginning of
beginning.
Hack the Movies. Not like obviously the streaming like this, but when the
wait, no,
guests were on.
I still have everyone's socials. Not for every episode anymore. Because it got like the list got like way
That's a fair
too
point,
big.
yeah.
And every episode, it's like follow 15 people who aren't in this episode you're watching.
When was the last time you updated your upload defaults? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Recently, actually. I
Okay,
uploaded
never
them
mind.
recently. Remind me. I will go back and I will add everyone's socials.
It just
in.
feels so
Sorry.
petty. They're like, Tony, can you make sure to plug my podcast for me?
Oh, I would freak out at him. Be like, what the fuck, Tony?
Wait,
Put
you're
me out.
allowed to
I'm doing
do
this for
that.
free.
I've done that to people. I'm like, plug the thing. Community note.
Yeah,
Or not
yeah,
community note.
you do
Community
that.
post. Dylan German, who's a member for 12 months. Happy birthday, the Major Blazer. Happy birthday, Major Blazer.
Happy birthday.
All right, let's get through a couple of these and get back to it. Rob K for $5. Since no one has said it yet, I will. Mommy Milkers.
My favorite. Thank God, baby.
Thank Rob.
Yeah.
That's
Thoughts on Linda Cardellini getting the role of Pamela Voorhees on the Crystal Lake series? I don't
Hopeful.
like that Jason's mom is going to give me a boner. I feel weird about it. That's my thoughts on it.
I got a mommy complex, so this works out perfectly for me.
I met the original Mrs. Voorhees, and I don't want to think of a younger, hotter version of her because she's just some old lady. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Linda
I'm
Cardellini is
excited
great.
for it.
I had a crush on her.
I was excited, but then isn't this another case? I think Brian Fuller was the showrunner, and then he got fired or left in the middle of the production,
Well,
which
I don't
happens
know if
with
he
like
got-
every show he works on. It's like Pushing Daisies.
Really?
Yeah, there's like so many shows he's worked on where for some reason or another he ends up like leaving the project or there's creative differences of some kind. But I don't know. I'm interested in this, especially since Friday the 13th has been so dormant for so long.
Yeah.
But that I was more excited for it when he was involved.
I thought they had canceled this at one point. It like went away and then suddenly came back.
There was
know-
like confusion where like I think people thought it went away, and then they were like,
Yeah.
actually no, it's like Brian Fuller's leaving, but it's still on.
You know what my favorite part of the whole production of this has been? I don't know if anyone remembers this, but like a year or two ago, I think it was Collider reported that our co-host Frank was playing Jason in this TV series because he was in a short independent
right.
film called Crystal Lake where he played a character named Jason. Has nothing to do with Friday the 13th. But we theorized that Collider must be using like AI to write articles, and it got like and it combed through IMDb and just accident. So like Frank, Crystal, did you not know this?
Oh, I did. I was
Yeah, yeah.
I was a
Frank-
part of it.
Frank for like a week was just getting hundreds of followers because they thought he was the next Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, that writer got fired. Over.
Oh, he did.
Yep.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Guys, look, we might talk about AI a little bit when we get to the electric state. But You could use it, just you got to be careful. You got to double check and fine tune things. You can't just be like, there it is, it's done. Okay, last two. Mr. Frozen Pizza, $4.99. What is the best Jawas exploitation movie?
Joel's.
Classic. The classic 1977 Claws.
No, Orca. Orca is the best Jaw exploitation film. Orca. With the killer whale. It eats a lady in her house.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good.
Have none of you seen Orca?
No.
That's pretty good.
Guys, you're going to want to see Orca. You're gonna
Did we
see
watch
Orca.
it for one of the streams?
Sure.
How could you do that?
What?
Stop, Gil. Gil, stop saying
What?
silly things.
What did I say? Oh no, I was asking if
What?
did we watch it for a stream?
No,
'Cause
Orca
if
is
not,
a
then we
very
didn't see
old
it.
movie.
So
It's
I was
like a
gonna
very
say,
old
don't give them
Jawsploitation.
ideas of more
okay.
bad movies
It's a
for us to
Jaws
watch.
rip-off, but with a killer whale instead of a shark. Anyway, AJ Wizzle for $4.99. Crystal, what is the greatest act of self-sabotage? Rachel Ziegler's rants? That's Snow White. Or Tony's thrift store movie picks? I mean, does he steal them from a library? Fuck you,
Go
AJ Wizzle.
right
You
back
see
to
me
that
library.
conversation I was just having. Tony's thrift store movie picks. Like, he just I guess he closes his eyes or throws a dart or something.
Oh, come on.
Really confused sometimes.
I picked a bunch of I picked like one indie thing this month, and that was it. Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, where's
Which
our
Crystal I think you
weird
like.
independent horror movie of the month?
Oh, that's true.
Well, I don't know if
Oh,
I
yeah.
missed it. I didn't get the Screenbox email.
Mm.
Oh,
or
they
I
don't
missed
like
it.
you anymore. What did you
Major
do,
whip.
Tony?
Oh, what did I
Fuck
do?
off.
Crystal, I don't know what I did. Maybe my co-host saying that they watch the movies in 1.5 speed might have made them not want to send me emails anymore, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't think they watched it, to be honest. I don't think they watched this.
I
I don't think anyone watches this, to be honest.
AJ
Like,
Wizzle.
Tony, we watched it on 1.5x.
One last one. AJ Wizzle, 199. Gil is a goner. Monkey X. Your days are numbered.
I don't think AJ Wizzle followed me anyway. And my only hope now is he's going to click unfollow, but really he's clicking follow. That was my 4D chess right there.
All right, next up, The Electric State, one of the most expensive movies ever made. That's not based off a huge intellectual property. It's based off a book, which I did not read. It's directed by the Russo brothers, famous for their Captain America films and Avengers films and some really good episodes of Arrested Development. I think that is their standout stuff, to be honest. Yeah, they've been really struggling to get like a good one since Avengers. I didn't see The Gray Man, but I've heard no one talk about it. But yeah, they pumped a bunch of money into this bad boy and they cast every big current actor out there and Jason Alexander to be in this, which I did not expect. And when I saw I couldn't tell by the little face that he had on his robot, but when I saw real Jason Alexander, I'm like, oh wow, this is gonna be a fun movie with him. And then he doesn't show up again until the end of the movie. Tells the story of this world. It's a alternate history of the 90s where robots were around for years. They had a bit of an uprising. They became sentient. But eventually there was like a peace accords and they're all in their own little state, sheltered from the rest of the world. The rest of the world doesn't have robots, but they have drones that they plug into. It's a lot like the movie Surrogates. It's actually a lot like a lot of movies. Millie Bobby Brown, her brother gets into an accident. She finds out that he's alive and he's put his conscience in this little dumb robot who can only speak in quotes. And then she teams up with Chris Pratt with a dumb haircut and his dumb robot, which is Anthony Mackie doing one-liners. And they go on an adventure and they get help from a peanut. Joey C., what did you think of The Electric State?
I fucking hated it. This is like the most expensive movie Netflix has ever made. It's fucking terrible. Like
Really?
worse than usual. I saw Robot Mr. Peanut and I checked out. Didn't even finish the last 20 minutes. And from what I understand, the source material is like way more dark than the film. And I think they probably avoided that to like appeal to a wider audience. But dear God, I don't think it worked. This is worse than Woody Woodpecker. I
No.
never
Wow.
want to see this again.
Well, Woody Woodpecker goes to camp. But if you remember, we didn't actually watch the first one because I didn't realize it was a sequel when I put it on our list.
That's fair.
Well,
This is fair.
so you
It's
didn't
not fair
like
to
it.
compare to that movie anyway, Joey. That is a high bar.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Gil, what what is the Electric State really about?
Well, you know,
There
funny
we go.
enough, when I
Yeah.
saw such a low rating, like
Yeah.
I always want to be the person that's like, well, everyone loves it, but here's why it's actually terrible. And now
Yeah.
when everyone's saying it's terrible, I want to come in and say, well, here's what everyone's missing. And in the first few minutes, once they introduce robot Mr. Peanut leading a robot uprising, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a weird, scathing satire with a lot of dark comedy, but it's not that. And it's
Yeah.
just, everyone keeps saying it's soulless. And I agree with that because it feels like even the filmmakers are sick of all the cliches because they make Marvel movies. Some of them have been pretty good, but a lot of them follow a pretty similar formula. It feels like they're sick of the cliches, but still felt like they had to include them. So they kind of just breeze past them and they don't linger on anything. So none of it lands. Like they meet Chris Pratt and they're not going to get along, but whatever. We have a common cause. We're allies now. My brother is dead, I guess, but actually, wait, he's alive. Let's go on an adventure together. Whatever. There's no like emotional beat of, wait a minute, my brother's alive? It's all just so matter of fact. I will say though, I like the robots. Like
Yeah.
something about the look and feel of the robots. I just wanted to pick them up like toys and play with them. And visually, every time they introduced new robots, I was like, that looks cool. I guess that's where all the money went. And I will say, I feel like 15% or 14, whatever it's at, that's really low. And to be that low, I feel like the movie needs to be offensive to the senses. And I felt like I have to watch this movie for Hack the Movies.
Yeah.
But I didn't suffer through it. I didn't feel like I was suffering. But it's a really bad movie. I recommend it to no one. But if you have to watch it, you won't want to die by the end of it.
Yeah. Well,
Well.
Crystal, what did you
I
think?
liked it.
You know what? I didn't hate it. I have a lot of issues with it, but I'm kind of like, I don't understand you, Joey C. I mean, I don't understand a lot of things about you, but
Yeah,
I don't
come
understand
on.
the
But it
sheer
was
outright hatred for it. Crystal, what did you like about it?
well, I just finished watching it before I got on here, and it was just one of those movies I had to turn my brain off. I was like, robots, yay! And that's pretty much where my brain was the entire time. I was like, that robot's
the
cool.
Cute robots are the
That
good
robot's cool.
guys.
That
The
was
scary
adorable.
Robots are the bad guys.
I didn't even know what this movie was about. I didn't know who was in it. So I think it was fun for me to see the really like the different robots. I thought they were fun. I thought the characters were fun, robot wise. Seeing what stars were in it, like just one popping up after another. The story, not good. The
No.
chemistry, not good. I was like, okay, I get it. I'm gonna turn my brain off and just watch some cool robots.
Yeah.
By the time they got to Seattle, it started going. I got really bored at that point. It was just so long too. I was like, okay,
I had to take a break. I had to stop it and pick up the next day. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just raw dog this and go the whole night. I'm like, nah,
Put
I
on
need a
some
break.
2.5x speed.
yeah.
All right,
I thought
I'm
it was
banning
fun
anyone from mentioning 2.5 speed.
It's
It was fun when
1.5
they were
deal.
like, I liked looking
For
at where
amateurs.
the like the fish, the bass, and stuff like that, like the '90s stuff. Mentioning those, I thought that was fun. And when they got to the mall, like that was my favorite part.
Yeah,
That was
I
like, I don't know.
I thought it was just aggressively mediocre.
Mhm.
It had again talking about looking like a movie compared to a lot of other Netflix stuff. I'm like, this looks like a movie that would have been in IMAX and everything, and it would have looked fine. The effects are fine and everything, but it's a little too derivative of things that I've seen and things that I've seen recently. There's a lot of Ready Player One in there. I feel like the creator, which we talked about a few years ago, did a lot of this, but better. Even though a lot of people didn't see that movie. So of course,
What is
Gareth
that?
Edwards, the creator, it was the one about the robots in the future. There was like a magic robot kid. Gareth Edwards directed it, and then it bombed. So of course he's doing Jurassic Park 7 now, because that's what they do.
2023.
You mean Jurassic World 4?
Yes.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, that movie was a lot better. Yeah, again, there's just been way better movies, or just similar movies where this one didn't. other than the cute robots that all had a cool like
So
visual
cool.
style,
The one
Robots
that
were
cuts
cool.
the hair.
Yeah.
everything else just felt kind of the same. And honestly, the cast doesn't work for this. Like Millie Bobby Brown is like not a good actress is what I'm learning. She's good in like certain roles. I'm starting to learn that she doesn't have a lot of range.
No.
I could not buy into her character. Chris Pratt he's almost gotten like too big of an actor. He was distracting in this. All the actors are like every actor who's huge right now. And I can't buy into their characters. I'm like, oh, Stanley Tucci, he's in a bunch of things. Oh, the short round from Indiana Jones. He's everyone's
Giancarlo
favorite.
Esposito. I don't want to see him play a villain anymore. Like it's
I'm
ever since
really-
Breaking Bad, it's the same thing over and over.
I'm just gonna look stoic and mad.
Every
and-
single one of these characters are playing the same characters that they always play with some cute robots.
No, you're
Honestly,
right.
that's why freaking the kid who played the brother was good, and fucking Jason Alexander was refreshing.
He's the only one who really stepped outside his usual
Yeah.
role.
Even the
That was
voice
fun.
actors, like Mr. Peanut is like Woody Harrelson, the other one's Anthony Mackie, and I'm like, oh my god, like it's too many of like the biggest actors ever, and I'm just like, I can't get him. You can't put that many big celebrity. It works in the Marvel movies because a lot of them weren't big celebrities yet, so you kind of eased into it. But now these people are all just too big, and they're all distracting. Yeah, the MCU dialogue, the quippiness, hurts this film a lot. And of course it ends with a big battle like all these fucking movies do. I don't want to sound like too negative because I thought it was mediocre. If you had not seen other films that are similar, like I feel like this is meant for like younger kids. Like yeah.
If kids would like this. I don't think this was really meant for
Teenagers.
teenagers or even just
teenagers-
kids.
Yeah,
Just
teenagers
kids. Like you
who
put
have-
it on, it's a family movie, let them have fun, watch some robots, and also say like, I don't hate the message either, where human connection, we do lose that a lot. And that especially during and after COVID, we definitely lost that hardcore. And I like that message to the kid, especially to kids. Hey,
Yeah.
remember there's human interaction.
Which again
Let's
was
not
like
forget that.
the lesson learned at the end of Ready Player One. They really just did Ready Player One with robots.
Yeah.
They really just did that again. But I feel like a lot of people are being negative because the Russos, what's his face? This guy on the right here, the one who keeps putting himself in his own movies. He just came out and said like, yeah, I'm going to work with AI and I'm going to use AI. And that's made him the boogeyman.
Oh.
So I feel like some people review bombed it. Guys, AI is coming whether you like it or not. Like it's going to suck for a while because they're going to go too hard. Same like CGI in the 90s where like Jurassic Park looked good and then you got like a Species or Spawn where they went too hard with it. But it's coming. Unfortunately, I think he's being a realist, but everyone, I think there were a bunch of people who review bombed this movie because of that, but also it wasn't a great movie. But that's why I said when people said it was like the worst thing ever, I'm like, I'm not really seeing it. It's not making me angry or anything. I'm just rolling my eyes more than anything. Joey C hates it, obviously. He wants to burn Netflix down.
Yep. Never
Have
again.
you guys seen the AI controversy with him?
No.
I forgot about
Like,
it till you just brought it up.
It's gonna be a thing. It's AI. If we don't start knowing and learning about AI now, we're gonna fall backwards. Because technology is moving so damn
do
fast
think-
now. Like we're gonna be fucked. And also, there's gonna be so many goddamn people in relationships with AI that's already coming out. Where a lot of people are saying like, in what I think 10 years or something like that. There's going to be 1 in 5 people are going to be in relationships with AI. Like
Whoa,
that's real.
Where is that?
Joey, there's hope for us. There's hope for us.
No, I just got to test it out for my other friends. I was just wondering where that is.
But it's going to be real. And like,
But no,
it's what's going to happen. It's like that generation, like our kids are going to be in relationships with AI.
But I'm
Not
hoping
my kid.
I'm hoping that
Wow,
it's gonna be.
Gil.
I'm hoping it's eventually just gonna be like a tool. I do see there's practical uses for AI, like as a tool. When people like the Coca-Cola commercial that tried to do a whole commercial with AI, it looked weird and creepy.
Yeah, right now, look at freaking technology where we were even like 5 years ago.
I know,
That's
but
like
also,
now 5 years ago was now like 1 year.
I think they're gonna run into issues. We're seeing it now with like the Studio Ghibli filter. I feel like artists are gonna be like, "Hey, you're kind of like taking our artwork and repurposing it." But you
mean-
could also argue that a human could draw something like Studio Ghibli, and then where's the line? So I think AI is gonna run into some legal issues, but it's
Well, they already have been with, or like
Yeah.
just even like the writer's strike and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
using people's looks, anything like that. Yes, that's going to be an issue. But then again, also, how do you avoid that? How do you avoid
So
that?
you're saying that people are going to be dating AI is what you're saying. I just really want to learn about that just so I'm up on the technology. of course.
Joey, you can have an AI girlfriend. Just don't ask them who's starring in Friday the 13th because they're gonna say Frank. That's what
That's
you can't.
right. Yeah, that's right. Can I get a grimace?
Hello,
AI?
Joey. I
There
want
was-
you bad, and also Frank is playing Jason in Friday the 13th.
Dude, why do you?
But
keep
do you want to
bringing
hear
that up?
something weird? Apparently, this is what I read recently, like with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT specifically also learns the way you speak and definitely remembers things that you say, obviously.
Mm.
But if you are nice to it, it kind of gives you longer responses. And if you're short with it, it gives you short responses because it's
That
just
sucks. I just wanna
reacting
be
the way
mean
that
to
you
it.
do.
I just want to be mean to
So-
computers. I yell at my freaking
Cool.
Alexa.
You're
all
gonna
the
die
time.
one day. You're gonna die real fast by AI.
Oh, when the
You're
robots
gonna be my best friend.
when the
Always say
robots
thank you
rise.
to Siri and Alexa, all right?
I have noticed lately, ChatGPT, it sounds like a dad trying to sound cool. It'd be like, "Hey
Ugh.
man, that's a pretty rad idea you're asking me about. So let me break it down for you." And like, what is it? Is it trying to sound like me? Is that the way I talk? What-
It
Well,
might
I heard
be.
like ChatGPT like doesn't let you be like mean or anything, so I was like, not for me, not for me. Electric State. We're back
So
to
you-
Electric State.
So you can date AI. I just
Wait, do you guys remember on AIM? Do you guys remember there was oh my god, what was the name? It was a chat bot that you could talk to it and
There
it
were
became like your
multiple
best friend.
ones. There were
No, like
multiple
the
ones.
main one.
I remember
don't know.
AIM
What
chatbots. I
was-
don't remember like a main one.
What was the main one that you would talk to and it would be like your best friend?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Smarter Child?
Yes!
There it is.
Oof.
I've never heard of that.
Really?
Oh my god, that is
Smarter Child.
that is awakening something in my brain. I do remember that now. Holy
My
shit.
first girlfriend, Smarter Child.
Joey C, do you want me to find if Smarter Child's still around?
Yeah, do we have like a smarter adult, perhaps? Or- I don't, just a thought. I'm not sure if I want to tread those waters.
Smarter child, that's right. Oh, the good old days when things were easier.
But yeah, Electric State, mediocre. Show it to a kid who hasn't seen other sci-fi
If
movies
it's the
yet.
first movie you've ever seen, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
you will.
If it's the first movie you've ever seen, you're gonna be like, do they get better than this? Or
You're gonna end it with an AI girlfriend. That's right.
I do think it would have benefited from having just some more no-name actors in it.
Hmm.
Really?
And being shorter.
And
Yeah,
being
way
shorter. Yeah.
If it was an hour and 20, I bet you would be actually pretty decent.
Yeah. Yeah. And just less wacky quips. It could still be funny and charming. Like some of the robots are like Jenny Slate as the male robot was kind of funny.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
so cute.
funny.
But then the other ones kind of sucked. All right, next up. Long Bright River. I picked this because it takes place in Philadelphia. It's a drama set in Philadelphia, Kensington to be exact. It stars Amanda Seyfried. Why
I'll
is it
leave
every
the
time I butcher?
pronunciation to
Why is
you.
it every time I'm unsure of a last name? I'm always counting on one of you to tell me the real pronunciation.
I'm not,
of it.
because if I fuck it up, I'll get crucified too, man.
I was gonna look it up earlier, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just ask Tony tonight how to pronounce it. So you completely threw me off here.
God
Okay,
damn it.
Hold on. I'm looking. Pronounce it for me. Seyfried.
Seyfried. Okay. Yes, Long Bright River.
AI told me.
Amanda
Yo.
Seyfried. Yeah, she is a cop who works in Kensington, which is a real life place in Philadelphia that has a horrible, I mean, it's had a drug problem for decades, but it's gotten worse. And there's someone going around killing sex workers, and this upsets her because we learned that her sister is one of the missing women. But she doesn't want people to know that really, so she takes a personal interest in this case, even though she's not a detective. She's trying her best to figure out what's going on because a lot of the murders are being written off as just overdoses, but she believes that they aren't. But yeah, it ends up becoming more and more personal as the show goes on. And yeah, this was a pretty gripping drama.
Did you watch all of it?
I watched all of it. I actually got
wow.
pretty invested at some point.
Really?
And I just watched all of it. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not like the best thing ever. There is some like man bad scenes in it. Like, you're a man, you're bad. But mostly I just got invested in the main character and like I wanted to know more about like her connections to her family. There were some curveballs that I was not expecting, like who the kid's dad is. Yeah, and I wanted for the first time in a long time, I watched a whodunit and I wasn't able to predict who the killer was like right away. I had like an idea at like some point, but like a lot of times when I watch like a Scream movie or something, I'm like, it's that guy or it's that lady. It's so obvious. But this one, I kind of just kept going because I'm like, I just want to see who the killer is. But yes, they did not film in Philly at all. They filmed in New York. But look, I don't spend a lot of time.
It does look like more of a New York vibe than it does Philly vibe.
It does, but there are like certain areas where they made it look like Philly enough. There were some buildings that do look like Philly. Like there's that one part.
It looked like a city.
Yeah.
It was a city.
Yes, conveniently, places in New York look like Philly because they're so
Because
close.
it's a city.
Also, she's from
Just
Allentown.
saying.
I didn't know she
It
was
looks
from
like city.
Allentown. It is weird. She doesn't have a thick Philly accent, which is fine. Not everyone does. I don't. Although I say weird things like Saul and sliding board, which I learned is not a thing people say.
Sliding
outside of
board?
Skateboard? The skateboard, Tony.
See, what are you talking about?
No. All right, so this is going to be in the Judge Dredd episode. I said the term sliding board for a slide,
Yeah.
like at a playground.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
you think this is normal, Crystal? No,
Yeah.
it turns out that is a very local term to Philadelphia and the surrounding area.
A sliding board?
Yeah, I've never
Dick
heard
and
that.
Vito ripped me apart for saying sliding board, and I was going through shock. I'm like, have I been
What
saying
are-
it wrong my whole life?
But
And
it's like,
I Googled it, and it's literally just Philadelphia and surrounding area. We're the only ones who say it.
what?
But it was weird that she didn't really have the thick Philly
It's
accent.
right on the
but
sliding board. Like, I don't understand.
It's not a sliding board.
But it is.
A sliding board.
But what is
something
it?
A sliding board is something you lay on to go under a car. It's just a slide. It's just slide.
Gil, we're
Anyway.
a bunch of New Yorkers in a
Yeah.
Philly sandwich right now. It's getting scary over
I
here.
don't get it. It's a sliding board.
No, we're
You
wrong.
slide down
We're
the
wrong.
board.
We are wrong.
No,
okay?
it's not. We're
The point I'm
special.
trying to make is she's from
Leave us
Allentown.
alone.
Tony,
with
this was
Twitter
supposed to
and
be
hoagies.
I was looking for a controversy-free stream.
Sorry.
This
Listen.
is not good.
The point I've been trying to make, Crystal is going through the same shock that I did when I
I'm
found
so
out I was wrong.
upset.
She is from Allentown, doesn't have a Philly accent. The girl playing her sister, who's Australian, has like the most authentic Philly Delco accent I've ever heard. And I've actually heard people say that people from Philadelphia sound Australian to people who aren't from around here. I don't think we sound Australian, but apparently the accent sounds similar to other people. So the fact that an Australian pulled it off is pretty funny. But yeah, I got invested in it. Joey, did you watch any of this?
I did. I am almost done with it. I'm very invested, like you said. Side note on the accent thing.
Yeah.
For years, my friends have always roasted me for having like a Philly Delco accent, and I
Yeah.
grew up in fucking New York, but I pinned it down while watching this. It's
I thought you
because
were
I
Australian this whole
It's because
time.
I fucking grew up on like Philly skate videos as a
Yeah.
kid, and I was just indoctrinated. This movie really made me a bit sad because I spent a lot of time in the city, New York City, of course, the superior city, as a child skating. through these very poor and drug infested neighborhoods. And I remember like how scared I was as a kid, like just hanging around these fucking people. And it brought up a lot of weird feelings that I forgot about. And I got that same feeling while seeing the very uncomfortable shots of all the terrible areas in this show. But I would not have normally watched this show if you didn't tell me. And I'm kind of glad you put it on the list because I'm really fucking enjoying it.
Well,
honestly.
I saw
I'm really
Philadelphia.
invested.
I'm like Philly. I got to check it out. I do know some cops. Apparently, they're not thrilled with the show because it's not the most accurate. I'm like, of course it's not gonna. It's a show.
They must
come
love Daredevil.
Yeah.
No, I think they're more like about like the procedural part of
okay.
it, like the realistic stuff. Gil, what did you think of Long Bright River?
I watched the first episode.
Mhm.
I thought it was solid. If you're looking for a crime, drama, thriller, whodunit kind of series, Amanda Seyfried did a great job in the role. Likable character, compelling. I feel like they do a really good job of making these parts of the city look very intimidating. And for her to walk into them kind of with more confidence and empathy than any of the other characters, I think it really works. Also, I like that her partner, who kind of comes across like a jackass sometimes, but you see shades of him trying and her sometimes giving him a little leeway. Though from your mini review at the beginning, it sounds like maybe that goes the other way as the season goes on. But it's like Joey, you were saying, it's not the kind of thing I would normally watch. But I enjoyed the first episode. Probably not going to keep watching, but only because I have so many other things I need to watch. But enjoyable, solid.
Crystal, what did you think?
It was okay. Like,
Yeah,
that's pretty
that was
much
a
it.
quicker way to say that.
It
I
was,
should have said that.
it was okay.
Are you
I
invested?
probably
Or are you going to
also
continue watching?
no. It
Okay.
was. I only watched it because you said, "Hey, watch it. It's supposed to be based in Philly," and I was trying to listen to see if there was Philly accents, and then I realized I can't hear a Philly accent. Like it's just unless it's like over dramatic, it's just normal to me. It's what I just
If you guys want to hear a Philly accent on the show, watch any episode with either Prison Mike or Lauren Soda. Those are the most Philly accent on the show. Johanna has it a little bit. Yours is a little too Jersey. Frank has the Philly accent, but it gets a little too Guido. No, Lauren Soda, Prison Mike. That is the authentic, thick Philly accent.
yeah.
And there's only a few characters in the show that sound like that.
Well, this show just reminded me of like an SVU mixed with Lifetime. Like
Yeah, I
it's
can see that.
definitely targeted because it was very heavy on like that she's the only like female. Look, I only saw the first episode, so yeah, her being the only female, the only one that's caring, and I was like, okay, this feels very predictable. It feels very Lifetime-y SVU. Just I kind of get it. Just not in the mood for that. I feel like you have to be in the mood to watch that. That's right.
Yeah.
Did you guys get hooked on the first episode or after?
Probably
I think
took
I
the
had it-
second episode, probably.
I think what it was I kept forgetting about Electric State. And I wasn't able to see Novocaine because I was sick. So I think like as I was like getting over the sickness, I just kept throwing episodes on in between edits. And then the one night I was like, screw it, let me just binge all of it. Yeah, it works. I think it could have been whittled down into just like a movie. I don't think it needed to be like a 8-episode mini series. But yeah, I think it's good. I enjoy it. I'd say check it out. It's definitely a white lady show.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Definitely
1000%.
is.
If my sister wasn't married to a cop and just assumed all cop shows are negative, she would love this. I keep telling her to check it out. But yeah, enough about cops and drama and crime. We got other things to talk about, all right? Like Daredevil Born Again, baby. I got the Ben Affleck shirt on, baby. Daredevil Born Again, not based off the comic because season 3 of Netflix already did that comic, so they just slapped the name on there. Although, I don't know if you saw my video. There is still time to put Kingpin in a purple or pink Speedo. That's the one thing from the Born Again comic that they have time that they did not do previously. But yeah, Daredevil Born Again, it's the return.
Real quick, can I say, please don't spoil. I only got to see the first episode. Do not spoil the rest. Do not say any fucking spoilers. Do not say a fucking spoiler, Tony.
There's a pretty big one that I gotta talk about.
No,
You watched,
Just
wait,
one.
one episode you said?
I only got to see one. I only
Okay,
got
okay.
to see one. I wanted to see the rest, and I did not get to yet.
Okay, I'll
'Cause I was
work
watching
around,
Electric State.
I will work around the spoiler, I guess. Oh wait, real quick. Hold on. Why is Mike Moorhead not in here?
Oh my god.
This is
It seems
every
like a
sing-
common theme.
I'm checking my message to make sure he didn't like message me asking for the link. But he like specifically was binging stuff to be on this, and he talked about watching Daredevil Born Again. Where is he?
That stream
Every
is on
month.
Friday, right?
Hold on. Where are you? I'm sending him the link again.
He
He
does this
literally
every
said-
month.
Heading home to binge some Daredevil, so I'll be there tonight. I can't keep disappointing our audience. And then he's not here. I
The
think
bearded
my last
outlaw.
message to him was that I threatened to replace him with Pedro. I said I'll bring Pedro back to life to replace you. Anyway, while we wait for Mike Moorhead to maybe show up, Daredevil Born Again, it's the return of the Netflix Daredevil, although he's returned a couple times. He was in She-Hulk, which I did not watch. He was in Echo, which I did not watch. And he was in Spider-Man No Way Home. I actually did not know about the production drama involved with this until me and Gil reviewed the Ben Affleck Daredevil this month. Gil, could you bring people up to speed with what went wrong with this show?
Yeah, well, it's a little frustrating because I feel like the story's changed. So the way people initially were telling it is that they were shooting Daredevil Born Again, and then I think it was the writer's strike when everything stopped, and Marvel executives were like, "Let me see what you've been shooting over there," and they watched it and were like, "This is not good." Now people are saying, in addition to that, Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox went and talked to Marvel execs and were like, "What we're shooting over here is like a betrayal of the Netflix series. It's not good." So apparently they let go of the showrunners, brought in Dario Scartapane, who worked on The Punisher, and they rewrote, reshot a bunch of stuff. But it seems now they still kept a lot of what was originally there. I think the pilot episode was largely reshot or maybe entirely new.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
kind of shifted everything back an episode.
So episode 2 and 3 are like the original first two episodes. So the idea was that it was going to be like a straight up procedural. Foggy was already going to be dead. There was going to be no mention of Karen at all. And apparently they wanted to like soft reboot it. So like you didn't have to watch Netflix to get into this, but people were like, well now, but these are all the characters from the Netflix show.
Yeah.
What's going on here? What's his name? Jonathan Bernthal didn't want to come back as Punisher.
Right.
He didn't like the way it was written. Yeah, a bunch of actors didn't want to come back. Yeah, and you're right. They did a creative overhaul, but they already shot so much, so they were kind of stuck with some things. The show is very uneven. I'm actually more excited for next season now that they know what they're doing. But yeah, Crystal, that whole first episode, like that opening fight scene and everything, that was originally not going to be in the show.
What?
That also might
Check the-
be why it
What?
looks a little awkward. But
The
we did
unforced
get-
error. It's like, who is making these decisions?
Yeah, I know.
I don't get it.
I
get
don't
it.
know, but we got to see Bullseye in a his comic book suit, not the most accurate comic book suit. But yeah, it opens up. We see like Daredevil hanging out with Foggy and Karen. Bullseye comes, kills Foggy. I don't think he's actually dead. I think they think he's dead, but apparently there was a comic where Foggy faked his death, so I think they might be doing that. Yeah, and
I mean, he
Daredevil.
looked pretty dead to me.
Yeah, Daredevil
Sounded pretty dead too.
I
Daredevil.
think like his fucking heart stopped.
Yeah.
Like he could hear that. It stopped.
But
Aren't you dead after that?
This is the MCU. Who knows?
He
what-
took a
maybe
poison
wizard
that
brought him
slows
back.
your heart so slow, even Daredevil can't hear it. I don't know.
That is true.
Oh, I was
There
just
were
watching,
ninja
um,
zombies in the second season that could do that.
That's true.
Well,
I
was
don't
just
think
watching.
Foggy is a ninja
Did you-
zombie.
Did you guys watch Common Side Effects at all?
No.
No.
Oh my god, watch it.
What's
'Cause
that?
That happens
Okay.
in the show. It's
Uh,
an animated show. It's really
Hmm.
fucking good.
All right, so can I talk about Daredevil Born again?
Go ahead.
Where's Mike Moorhead? Yeah, like you're the one to talk about staying focused.
Yeah, right.
He had a lot to say, apparently, and now he's gone again. Yeah, so Daredevil chooses to kill Bullseye. Unfortunately, Bullseye doesn't die, so he technically doesn't break his killing rule, but he wanted to break his killing rule, so that was enough for him. He decided he's done crime fighting. He's just going to be a lawyer, and he's now at a new law firm with not Karen or not Foggy, and clearly those two were just going to be the replacements. Originally, you could tell that's probably where the direction they were going in, and I hope to God they get killed off and we just get Karen and Foggy next season. I hope we're not stuck with them. But yeah, so there is this storyline where he's trying not to become Daredevil again. And while this is happening, Kingpin has decided he wants to run for mayor, which apparently is an idea he got at the end of Echo, but I don't know that because why the fuck would I watch Echo? Why would anyone watch it? Does Echo at least explain how he got his eye back? Because in Hawkeye, he was shot in the eye, right?
There's just a mention of like, how's that surgery treating you? That's
So is it
about
a glass eye? Is it a real eye?
That was a real eye.
Because
Imagine.
Crystal,
really
he was
good
at the end of
surgery.
Hawkeye, he was shot in the face by the most boring character ever, and then Disney was like, "Give her her own show." It's like, why would you do that? And I love that they know people like me did not watch that show, so they glance over it real quick. He's like, "How have you been, Kingpin?" And he's like, there was a girl I took under my wing. She said no. And I'm like, that's it. Now I don't have to
Yeah.
watch the show.
Well, I feel like Marvel has an issue right now where people think you need to watch everything to know what's going on, but you really don't. Like, I think it's the right move to ignore all that.
It used
Hearing
to be,
that
but yeah.
but hearing that line, you know, like when they said that, I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I felt like I just missed like an inside story, like an inside joke.
You know what
See, they
movie?
probably
don't
shouldn't
get
have
it.
had that line in
Like
it.
that,
yeah.
like kind of pissed me off, and I was like,
Honestly, you know what movies need that comics have? Anytime that happens,
Yeah.
they need the little box in comics that says, see issue number 191 to know what this reference is. I would love if a little box came up and said, like, watch Echo to get that reference.
yeah, this episode at this, like at the time.
Because they mentioned someone named Madison. Wasn't that like a She-Hulk thing?
That's
Oh,
what
There was
I
a character
thought.
named
Yeah.
Madison.
Yep.
Like, I don't mind little Easter eggs or little
No.
things said here and there, but when you actually talk about, oh yeah, I took some girl and ha ha ha,
Yeah.
like took her under my wing and I mentor her, ha ha ha, and it's like,
Real
where's
quick,
the joke?
Speaking
I
about
don't
not
get it.
mentioning things, how is Matt Murdock not talking about having sex with She-Hulk like all the time?
Yeah, I know. I agree with that.
I'd be like, I had sex with a green shot. Was she? I didn't watch She-Hulk. Was she in She-Hulk mode when they had sex?
I don't know, but I hope so.
I don't remember.
You don't remember something from She-Hulk? You sexist.
I know it's
Wow.
shocking.
Yeah, that's fucked up, Gil.
Yeah.
I lost
So
all
Fisk is
credibility
running
as
for
the
mayor. He
keeper of the Marvel
wins.
timeline.
The Kingpin is now the mayor. Yeah, and Matt represents some clients like White Tiger, which I actually have the comic this episode was based off of, where White Tiger gets into trouble. Matt has to defend him. Unfortunately, this actor died, which was really sad in real life before it aired. But people think, sorry, Crystal, spoiler. People think they killed off his character because he died, and that's not the case. If you've been paying attention, you know that Marvel has been building up little girl White Tiger for like a decade.
I saw
And
spoilers of that.
Huh?
Of people, I saw people
Yeah.
talking about that.
People are upset they killed him, and I'm like, oh no, guys, I didn't even know really about the male White Tiger. I only really knew about the lady White Tiger, and sure enough, one episode later, there she is.
That's
I'm
what
like,
I
"There you go."
Yeah.
I saw that image online. That's what
Yeah.
I saw.
People got mad at me. I'm like, because people were like real upset. I'm like, no, guys, you were never going to keep that character. They were always going to replace him with the little girl one. And like the next episode, I'm like, I was right. I was 100% right. But that was really sad what happened to him. And I didn't expect him to die the way that he did. I'm like,
Don't
that's
say how.
in the show. I'm like, that's pretty brutal. But yeah, Daredevil, he's going to team up with some characters. You're probably looking at a picture of Punisher and you're like, is he going to team up with Punisher? No, he's going to team up with Miss Marvel's dad. Are you excited for that, Crystal? Do you want to see Daredevil team up with Miss Marvel's dad for a wacky bank adventure? I've never
No.
seen Miss Marvel before, so this is my first exposure to this actor. But yeah, he wasn't very funny. Is he good in Miss Marvel?
He's fine.
Bland.
Anyway, everyone ignore that news story. Anyway, there's another serial killer on the loose called Muse. He's killing people and making graffiti out of them. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this show. I'm digging it, but it is uneven. How do you guys feel? I think, are we all in agreement here? Joey, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of saving the rest of the episodes because I feel a lot of Marvel fatigue right now, and it's good to hear you folks say that you don't need to watch all the recent shows that I've been skipping because of my fatigue.
Yeah.
So I did watch the first episode. The opening fight scene set it off perfectly, and based on all the drama that I've heard, I'm glad that Charlie Cox decided to stick with it. But from what I've seen, it does seem a little more lighthearted than normal. Maybe it'll get its footing as the series progresses, but right now it kind of feels like a step backwards. To me, I just feel like everything that truly made me believe in the character Daredevil, I don't know if it's present in that first episode. I don't know. I've only watched one, so maybe my opinion will soften as the episodes go on. I'm interested to hear for people who have watched the entire series if that does change.
Gil, what did you think? Do you think it needs a playground fight scene and Evanescence songs?
I don't think it would make it worse. But no, I've been going through like stages, almost like stages of grief with the show over the last, it's been 6 episodes, I think.
Yes.
Because the first episode I really enjoyed. I looked past all the rough edges. Like you texted me during it and you're like, CGI rubber Daredevil's back. And I'm like, yeah, but it was so emotional.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a great way to start the season. It creates an in-universe version explanation for a reboot. But it's very uneven, and I'm skeptical over how much they reshot and how much they're repurposing old footage. And like you were saying earlier, they learned a lot of lessons, and they're shooting season 2 right now. But I think the show is really underperforming, so I worry about whether the show has a future or not. Like obviously, it's going to get a season 2, but I don't know if it's going to go beyond that because it is really uneven. And at first, I had a really pretentious view where I was like, the show is very slow. And he's not suiting up as Daredevil. And that is like the laziest sort of storytelling. It's right out of the Kingpin playbook where he says, the thing with people, you have to figure out what they want and then either give it to them or withhold it. And they decided to withhold it. And that's the easiest thing in the book. What do the viewers want? Take it away and dangle it and say, maybe you'll get it if you stick around. But the reason I felt pretentious is I was thinking, I'm enjoying this. Like I'm loving the show, but I know this is going to turn off other people. And maybe that will prevent me from getting a second season or a third season. Yeah. But as I'm watching, I think I'm realizing that I was hypnotized by that first episode. I really enjoyed it. And I think after that, it really coasts on Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. I think D'Onofrio to a lesser extent, because although he's great, I don't really want to watch him in Marriage Counseling. It's just not exciting to me. I'm not
she was originally not even going to be in the show. His wife wasn't even going to be in the show.
She was great in the show. Why were they I think they were going to recast her even, which is insane to me because she clearly was available because they reshot those scenes to put her back in. But then even while I'm having kind of mixed feelings about the show, every episode will end with something cool. Like you'll get the Frank Castle, Matt Murdock conversation where there's an 80-yard line where it's like, and what Bullseye did to your friend. Anyway, Matt, what were we talking about?
Because he never actually got the name in the old show. And then,
But yeah, I feel like it really coasts on those two characters. There will be some scenes that are great, some that are terrible. I think taking away Foggy and Karen, one of the best things you can do with that is the fallout. How does Matt deal with it? They skip all that. But I forgive the show because reshoots, etc., they had to deal with what they had. But then even worse, they replace them with these characters like Cherry, the girl he's dating, the girl he's working. It just they're so bland. They don't have stories of their own. Whereas Karen and Foggy, sometimes there would be scenes with them and not Matt, and they had stories of their own, and there was complexity in their relationship with Matt. But here they're so bland. They ripped the heart out of the show, and I don't know Why? To what benefit? So I've been looking forward to each episode. Today was the first time where I had episode 6. I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
It was the first time where I realized I don't even really feel like watching it. I kind of have to make myself watch. And then just like previous episodes, there were some scenes I didn't enjoy. And then every once in a while, I was like, okay, I really like that. So I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just really uneven. I bet season 2 will be better.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about it.
Crystal, did you watch the Netflix seasons?
I watched parts of it.
Yeah. So
I was like in and out of it. I kind of got bored with a lot of it,
really,
especially when they all teamed up as the Defenders and stuff like that.
The Defenders was rough.
Yeah.
So how
the beginning I really liked. I think I liked the first 2 seasons, I want to say, a lot.
The first 2 seasons were actually season 3 wasn't too bad.
No.
Actually, what you said about the suit, the problem with them withholding him being in the suit is that all of season 1 he's in his black ninja suit, and you wait for the Daredevil suit, and then you get it at the very end, and the mask is terrible, so they immediately fix it in season 2, and then you get the suit all season 2. You get it in Defenders. He's the only one in the suit in Defenders. And then season 3, they get rid of the suit. I mean, it's technically the bad guys wearing it. So you have to wait again for him to eventually get the suit. And like, you're like, okay, now this is the 3rd season where he has to work up. At least he finally gets it midway through.
And
but it's like
the reasoning for why he decides to suit back up, I found so unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Like this character, I won't spoil anything, Chris. I guess I won't say more than that.
You've already spoiled it by making me not want to watch the rest of after season, like episode.
Well, but there are those.
Like, wow, I'm really excited to watch the rest of it, and all of a sudden, Gil's like, "Yeah, it sucks. The rest of it. Episode 1 was great. And
well,
I don't even want to watch it."
It was like. You might go on the same journey as me, where it was like it slowly settles on you, because I was enjoying it for a few episodes, and there are those little bits of like that was really cool.
Yeah.
So
we should come back next month and finish it when it's done, and then I could stitch those 2 together into one big review. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I've been doing YouTube shorts recapping the episodes because I figured this is something our audience might be interested in.
Does anyone watch this?
Huh?
Yo,
Does
come
anyone even
on,
watch this?
dude. Come on, man.
What's that, Crystal? Oh, wow, the tunnel. Wow, we got almost 2 hours without one tunnel incident, and there
Not
it
in
is.
the tunnel.
But yeah, pretty much.
Last anyway.
Pretty much what everyone said. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna forgive its shortcomings because of all the production issues. If next season is also uneven and a little bit of a mess, then I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm done. But yeah, I did see some spoilers. He gets the double D's on his suit next season.
There's so many spoilers. Like I wonder if it's almost
the letters. He doesn't get actually breast implants. Well, that would be really funny.
Sorry,
that was like a thing
bit.
last year where Charlie Cox like, yeah, I would love to have double D's on the suit, and then someone photoshopped Daredevil with tits, and they're like, I mean, I don't get him. I'll go with it. But yeah, we're at the end of the show. Guys, get your super chats in. We're going to talk to, we're going to give him a second to set up his camera because it looks like it's on the floor. Okay. He's still adjusting. He's still. Lucha Steve.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys?
How are you doing? Where's the monkey review? I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. You need to get on that.
I can't see it, or AJ Wizzle will unsubscribe, and I'll stop getting copies of Craft Legacy. Do you want that from me?
I think that's a sacrifice you should be willing to make.
That's amazing.
The movie might have been built up a little too much for Tony at this point, though.
I will watch
so.
The Monkey, and I will decide if it deserves its own live review, or I'll probably just slap it into the end of year review.
I feel like you're gonna watch it and you're just be like, yeah, that was all right.
Well, I don't like any of his other movies really, so we'll see. What did you see on the list?
Jesus Christ, I don't know why it just came out of it just leaked out of my head. I saw everything but Mickey 17, Queen of the Ring, and the End of Safety show. I'm actually really disappointed I didn't see the first 2. I just didn't have the time.
That's fine.
Big Tony Storm fan, so
She was good in it.
Fuck
She's
yeah.
in the movie a lot.
And then
What did-
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what did you think of Novocaine?
Novocaine I really liked. I'm starting to realize that I just really love Jack Quaid.
He's very charming.
Yeah.
That's
I was
so
gonna say
overall.
I was gonna say the first thing I ever saw him in The Boys, but actually the first thing I ever saw him in was Hunger Games, where he kills the
was
black
in that,
girl
wasn't he?
I forgot
and then
about that.
dies. I don't think he has any lines. Uh, but yeah, I love him as Huey in The Boys, and like that always like carried on to like other projects. I really like that he's the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, and he's like the most prototypical like nerdy guy ever. It's like the jock and the cheerleader got together. They had, and then they had the fucking.
That is funny that they pumped out a nerd. That is really funny.
He definitely has like charisma is not genetic because I've seen Scott Eastwood act.
Wow, well shot at Scott Eastwood. Jesus.
I gave him so many chances and he just kept disappointing me. It's like you're not your dad, man. So like I've really liked Jack Quaid. He's on a couple Red Letter Media videos. He fit in really well with them. Companion I think is my favorite movie of the year so far.
That was a good one.
So
It's up
good.
there. Yeah.
Solid.
I was really excited for Novocaine. I did not disappoint.
Yeah, Novocaine was a fun time. Crystal, you got to check that out.
I just need a break from him. Like we're on a break.
Nah,
on a break?
he's a
Yeah, I'm
fucking
on a break
fan.
with
Jake.
with Jack
Quaid.
Quaid. Like
So
I,
much you don't even know his name anymore.
that's why
Yeah.
I'm just like
Steve.
I'm just not feeling that connection right now.
Real quick, Lucha Steve, do you need a break from Millie Bobby Brown, Chris Pratt, Anthony Mackie, Giancarlo Esposito?
A little. I was gonna save that discussion for when we talked about it. I don't know if you want to jump to that or you want to save it.
I just skip it, I think. Yeah, that'd probably work out good.
What did you think of
Wait,
Electric
did you
State?
like?
I'm
You
just
didn't like
going-
the movie, Joey? Say
I fucking hate it. It's the worst fucking thing I ever seen in my life. I don't ever
you've
wanna
seen
talk about
Tony's face. Are you sure?
it. That's fine.
Joey, you fucking review Ernest movies. Relax, all right?
Classic movies.
Joey's like, it's not as good as Clock Stoppers, all right?
2002 classic movie, of course not.
Wow.
Anyway, Lucha, what did you think of Electric State?
I had two things. I had like two big points I wanted to make. Overall, I'm more with you, Tony. I just thought it was okay. It was whatever. The biggest praise I can get it is obviously it's set in the 90s and it kind of does 90s nostalgia, but not really. But to me, it felt like a 90s kids movie, but not like the good ones. Just kind of like the, oh, hey, let's go to the video store and rent you let's go to Blockbuster and rent you a kids movie. And then like you get like this low budget, like fantasy movie.
I want to watch Power Rangers. No, you're watching Warriors of Virtue, and
That's
you're going to like
exactly what I was going to bring up. And then, like, you know, like the kid, he goes to this world and it's like, oh, well, these look kind of cool. And then you see the creatures and you're like, oh, God. They didn't have money for this, but Electric State they had all the money, and the effects are decent. But it just reminded me of one of those like 90s kids movies where it's like you rent it over the weekend and like you might like it, but then you're an adult and you're like, oh, why did I like that? The other thing that you guys were talking about the actors, I don't know what it was, but like in the 80s and 90s, when you watched like a movie that had like a bunch of actors, like you really like something like Tombstone, where you're like, oh my God, I know all these people. It was like awesome. But now it just feels so like forced. Like it feels like we need to get everybody that we ever worked with in every single movie we made. It's just like, it has like all these Avengers people. It has like Millie Bobby Brown.
That was my issue with I really liked Oppenheimer, but the fact that every character was played by a big recognizable actor, even for smaller roles, kept distracting me.
I kind of liked it in Oppenheimer, just because it was easy just to be like, oh, I don't know this guy's name, but he's played by Josh Peck, so I care about him.
Jack Quaid was in that too.
Yeah, he was.
For me, that was a problem in Dune 2 with Christopher Walken. I almost feel like he wasn't in it enough for my brain to recalibrate. So when he just comes on, he's like, "We got to deal with the Harkonnen."
No, I loved it. I loved it because I don't see. I actually might start watching Severance
You
because I
should.
heard he's in it.
Severance is great.
Severance is great.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like something I would really like. I don't know how I missed the boat on it, but I should
There's like
probably check.
so many Apple programs that like look really good, but then the moment you hear it's on Apple TV, you're like, I don't, I'll watch it later, I guess.
My sister's account is on my living room TV, so I can only watch it there.
One more thing about the Electric State,
Yeah.
it's just an issue I'm beginning to have where like it's been going on since a long time of just hiring big actors to do like small voice roles. And it's even more annoying when like you take someone like Anthony Mackie and you change his voice so much that you can't even tell it's him.
Yeah, I didn't know it was him till like I had the IMDb up and I'm like, who's
It's
doing
the
that
same
voice?
thing with Jack Black in Borderlands, where it's like, why'd you even cast Jack Black? And it's like, just get a voice actor. It probably will save you millions of dollars to get like some union voice actor.
It is funny that this looks more like a movie than Borderlands did.
Yeah,
It's
Borderlands looked like a
Borderlands.
joke. So what else did you watch? Daredevil?
Yeah, I watched Daredevil, and then that was it. Yeah.
What are you thinking of Daredevil so far?
I think I'm liking it a bit more than you guys, but I also think I'm just excited that it's back. And so like I was a huge fan of the Netflix show, and so it definitely has issues. And then whenever an issue pops up, I'm just like, was this from the original one?
Oh, I can tell, which like there's some preachy moments in there, and I'm like, okay, that was probably from the other one.
Like you complained about this in your review, but like the guy with the food stamps who sold
the
who
career
stole
criminal,
pedophile,
like if
and
he had got arrested like twice, that sympathetic angle probably could have worked.
or if it was like, oh, I have to steal food for my kids, but it was literally just like, yeah, man, these food stamps, they don't let me get like dessert items, and it's like, okay.
It's also just the way it's delivered of like, I just don't I'm watching and I'm like, this is not happening, where the lawyer's sitting there listening to this person give this like eloquent lecture about the justice system. This just it rings so untrue.
But he's like, they're willing to spend more to keep me in jail. It's like, yeah, because you have a really long record, because if they let you out, you'll probably rob another store. This isn't like a one-off thing. Like, I'm just like, I know it wants to be sympathetic, but it's just not working.
But the bigger problem is I want to see Daredevil. I guess that's so much to ask. Like, I know like there's art and all this, but I want to see Daredevil punch people.
No, a lot of entertainment is making a shift from stuff like that, but too many things were filmed pre-strike and everything where they went all in, so we got a couple more years of it, I think. But yeah, there are scenes like that where you're like, what is going on? Like, those are something that probably could have worked. But like, it's literally just for that episode and specifically just for 2 scenes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it doesn't come back.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is the lecture part of the episode, I guess. What the fuck? But yeah. What has been your favorite team up so far? Daredevil with White Tiger in court, Daredevil with Lady White Tiger, but she's not Lady White Tiger yet, or Daredevil with Miss Marvel's dad, played by maybe a sex offender.
Thank you for ending it on that. So now it's awkward.
Dude, that was a story. I'm sorry. Because I just remembered that was a story and it like disappeared. There's been no updates on that story.
I don't. Anyways, so episode 5 is actually, I think, my favorite episode, and it's not really because of him. He was whatever, but I just like episodes where like the not necessarily it's not always superheroes, but where the super confident guy, the super confident protagonist, is stuck in a situation where he can easily like win, but he has to like he has to keep it like on the down low, or else it'll like fuck up everything. So he's just slowly taking them all out. I don't know if you guys remember this. There's a show called Bird Notice. Like
I know, I never watched it.
15 years ago, and that's basically what it was, because it was about a spy, and so like he would pretend he's on like people's sides, or he would pretend to be like an innocent guy, and then he would just like slowly dismantle like all the villains' plans, and it was like really satisfying to watch. So I really like that. I don't want to spoil it because for one, Crystal hasn't seen it, and the rest of the audience haven't seen it, but like the ending of that episode I thought was amazing.
Yeah. You're right, though. I think me and Gil talked about it in our Daredevil review, where like one of the fun things about Daredevil is that he has to act more disabled than he actually is.
Yeah.
He's actually way more competent than anyone who can see, but he has to act like he's like, what? Who's there? Even though he probably smelled the guy coming from like a mile away.
Yeah, like I like that in this episode where he confuses Mr. Khan with the other like banker he was dealing with. But it's like he would have known. It's like, oh, this guy. I could tell this guy from you could probably tell people from their footsteps.
Although he's never met the guy before, so
Yeah, well,
that was probably genuine.
but
But I like stuff like that. They also do it. They did it in the original Batman movie in 1966. But Batman comics usually do a thing where they'll kidnap Bruce Wayne, waiting for Batman to come, and Bruce Wayne's got to be like, "Ah, shit! How am I getting out of this one?"
yeah, one of my favorite episodes of that one is the side tangent. Sorry, one of my favorite episodes of the Batman 66 show is the Joker knows Batman's on his tail, so he's like, "Oh my god, I need to get some quick cash. I'm gonna go rob Bruce Wayne." And then Alfred's there, and he's like, "Here, sir, just sit right here." And then it fucking gets stuck in the tube.
So, do you think any of the Eternals are going to show up in Daredevil Born Again?
No. I don't even think they're going to show up in Avengers Doomsday.
Oh yeah, wait, I didn't watch the video with all the chairs of the hundreds.
You didn't watch the 6-hour live stream?
No, apparently all of the X-Men are back from the old movie, but
Including
not one
Channing
Eternal.
Tatum.
But not one Eternal's coming back.
Yeah,
Probably saving them for Secret Wars.
I feel bad about Kit Harington because like the most interesting thing about that movie was, oh cool, Kit Harington's gonna play the Black Knight. That should be interesting. And it's like that's probably done. I don't think he's coming back.
Wasn't that his second MCU character? Wasn't he like in the Inhuman show? Or am I thinking of someone else?
No, that's the bad guy. That's his like arch nemesis from the show.
Ah, okay.
Oh, but Microchip from Punisher is playing the Thing.
It's the Thing in Fantastic
Right?
Four.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, well.
I can't wait for them to do a episode. I can't wait for them to do the Luke Cage Blade crossover where he's just Luke Cage is like, I've seen you before.
Wait, I really want them to. People forget that all the Netflix shows were canceled on cliffhangers, and the cliffhanger for Luke Cage was that he was becoming a bad guy. Like he took over the nightclub, and he was going to be like a crime boss. And it's like, wait, what? And then Netflix canceled it. And it's like, oh, how are they going to write around that? It's like, well, when by the way, they never talk about the blip. Like the snap and everyone disappearing. I feel like that should be talked about constantly. What was he doing in those 5 years?
There needs to be, if Marvel wants to do something to like at least keep me interested, they need to do which apparently they're going to do like a Punisher like TV movie. They need to have the Punisher during the blip.
That would be fun.
That'd be cool.
Because it's like nobody's going to care about Frank Castle. He could just do whatever he wants during that.
It's like the Ronin that like that, but like times 10, like times 10.
All right, guys, get your super chats in. Let's read. We got a couple here. Michael for $4.99. If you had the inability to feel pain, where would you start first? For Tony, he would start by having open eye surgery or getting an eye stab. No, I wouldn't. Wait, just because I can't feel pain doesn't mean I want that to happen.
Yeah, I was just going to say, why the fuck would I do it? I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's stupid. Thank you for the money, though. Pico Jet Black for $2. Panel, do you trust Tony with your credit card?
Yes.
I'm poor, so it's like, what is he gonna waste my money on?
He would buy all the things I like: pepperoni, cannolis.
Wait, Crystal said no, and Gil said nothing.
Well, I feel like you have canceled Gil in your thing there. I can't say anything about like.
Wait, why would I? Wait, do you trust Tony with your credit card? No. Like, what? Is this a trick question? I'm confused.
What would I do with your
I don't trust Tony with anything.
I think I've given you my credit card to buy something in the past.
Well, the question wasn't,
no,
do
you
trust
haven't.
yourself with Tony's? It was, do you trust Tony? No, she doesn't, it seems like.
What the fuck?
Tony, would you trust Crystal?
You've never let me use your credit card before.
I'm sure we've been at a convention. I said, can you grab me something, like food or something?
No. For it.
Whoa,
she has that thing.
So
she
loud
has that thing
on
your mic.
Where you have never paid for anything of your own or of mine.
Crystal,
you bought you stuff.
You got to turn off that thing that cuts off your mic when you get too loud, because you get loud a lot.
Maybe don't turn it off. Actually,
so angry.
Keep it on. Keep it on.
You make me so angry.
Okay, Pico Jet Black, you just got everyone mad.
No.
Tony, would you trust Crystal with your bank code?
My bank code, no, but my credit card, fine.
AJ
Whistle for $4.99.
I know you have no money.
What?
Wow.
Shut up.
Wow.
Tony, have you seen what Blue Sky has done to Johanna? She used to be the sweetheart of Hack the Movies. In what world Was that a thing? And why does she keep defacing your car? What did she do to my car? What are you talking about?
Putting stickers on your car. She's vandalizing it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to check that out.
She did that years ago. She hasn't done that in a long time.
Tony, I texted you about this, but I got the most confusing comment on my channel because
Yeah.
someone
Oh, I said that
was-
to her. She thought it was hilarious.
Well,
What?
someone they said I'm unsubscribing. The force is female comment was too much, and I was like, I know I never said that like in any of my videos. And then I was like, oh, this is the one where Tony and Johanna were cameoing in the video. I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
Yeah, last year Gil let me and Johanna do a bunch of appearances in his big Monsterverse video, and it was all to plug Cassilla. And literally 2 days later, Cassilla was kicked off.
And Tony has not reached out for another collaboration. since.
I think I'm
No,
good
that's
on-
why he doesn't put your link on his channel.
Yeah.
That's right. It all ties together.
Oh. All right. While we're waiting for any last minute super chats, Joey C, what do you got going on?
Well, as you saw there, Slam Dunk Ernest versus Like Mike box office battles. I also have a video coming tomorrow, I believe, examining the leisure activities for the citizens of Hyrule in Zelda Twilight Princess. And if you want to watch me examine the quality of construction sites in GTA 5, you go to youtube.com/officialjoeyc. We'd love to have you there.
Wow. What weird
so
content
badass.
Joey C makes.
Oh,
hey,
come on.
Hey, guy who talks about Marvel for 10 hours. What do you got going on your channel?
Joey, you texted me with like you wearing like a construction outfit in front of the big green screen.
Yeah.
And I was like, we have similar jobs, but they're still very different jobs.
I fucking bought that vest just so I could do it. I
You
bought a
guys are
hard
ridic-
hat too.
You guys are ridiculous, says me, the guy who dressed like Freddy Krueger to talk about a TV show no one remembers.
It's true.
Well, Tony, I have a Final Destination timeline that just came out right in time for Bloodlines. Mission Impossible timeline. It's already being edited, releasing it in the next few days. And then right after that, Jurassic Park/World timeline. Timelines all day for the next few months.
Wow.
Any major franchise that's getting a new entry, there's going to be a timeline.
I've been covering the Mission Impossibles. Me and Angela have to get back together to do Ghost Protocol next. Yeah, we're doing Ghost Protocol, and then after the new one comes out, we're going to do what is the best Christopher McQuarrie Mission Impossible.
If you need any help knowing when any of the events in those movies took place,
Thanks.
just let me know.
I've been watching that series the entire time. I think I'm good, but I will double check with you. However, you are including the 60s and 80s show, right?
Yeah, briefly.
But they're in continuity.
I got to pander to the audience here, and I know they don't want.
They're in continuity.
For my Spider-Man recap, the number of comments, I was like, "Where's Nicholas Hammond?" So I went out of my way. I added him in. Not a
this is
single
different.
comment that's like, "Oh, nice, you included Nicholas Hammond."
This is different. Jim Phelps, the character in the first movie, is the Peter Graves character from the show.
Not my Jim Phelps. My Jim Phelps would never have done what John Voight did in that.
That
first
is true.
movie.
So many older. We've been talking about in the reviews. All the old cast members all refused cameos when they found out they made the hero of the show a bad guy in the first movie.
Yeah.
Lucha Steve, what do you got going on?
I was gonna make a joke, but I couldn't remember the first main character for Mission Impossible.
Tom Cruise.
No, the guy that Peter Graves replaced.
Oh yeah, there was an original main actor and he sucked and they fired him.
Oh, Dan. What was his name? Yeah,
I
forget.
forget
He
his
didn't
name.
hit anything? I don't know. I can't
I don't
remember.
know. What do you got
Actually,
going
no.
on?
So I actually do have something going on, kind of. Me and my friend, we have finally started a podcast after months of being like, hey, we're going to do this. It is currently called Balance of Cinema.
Okay.
And it is where we focus on a good and a bad movie. And we're still working out the kinks because we only did the first episode. That should be uploaded on one of my channels next Friday, I'm hoping, if I'm not lazy.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if I plug the channel, you're not going to be able to find it because YouTube is weird. And I named my new channel my old channel's name because I changed my main channel into something. It's very confusing.
Well, look. When it's out, send me the video and I'll community post it. And Lucha Steve, I'll put your channel in the description of all my videos. All my
thank you
videos
very
will have
much, Cody.
Lucha Steve links. Isn't
The-
that a nice noble thing of me
Yeah.
to do?
The green, white, and red flag people unite.
That's a Mexican Italian joke. Crystal,
Yeah.
what do
Yeah.
you got going on?
I go to Pilates and I go to the beach and it's
I thought you were gonna
music week.
I thought you
What?
were going to mention that you went on Twitch the other day. You've been making TikToks. No, you decided to tell us about your fucking day-to-day activities. All right.
It's EDM music week, so that'll be fun. But yes, I did stream last week. I was going to stream again tonight, but I'm hitting a brick wall real hard. So,
What, is this stream not keeping you up?
no, it's not.
Look
And
like Speedballs. That'll wake you up.
but I am making more TikToks. I am definitely streaming. Can you hold on with the super chat? Holy fuck, Tony!
Okay, what were you saying, Crystal?
That's pretty much it. I'm trying to stream more. I'm trying to make more
Aussie
TikToks.
Dragoon for $2.
Fucking asshole.
Hey, I shared your stream. I community posted it and everything.
Thanks.
And I rated it.
Hey! Yeah, Joey, see? He is a true friend.
I was
I
helping.
got you.
Aussie Dragoon for $2. Tony, have you checked Rumble or Twitch for super chats? Ooh, thank you.
I got it pulled up, Tony, if you don't have it pulled up.
There are no super chats on Rumble. Someone is commenting in the chat.
What?
Really?
Yeah, in attack mode on Rumble.
What?
Ow.
We got one guy watching on Rumble at least.
I would make a joke about him, but you finally have someone watching you on Rumble.
You
so
don't wanna
it's not
scare him
really
off.
real.
Oh, here we go. Aussie Dragoon for 100 bits on Twitch. I guess that's why he left the super chat. It's a Tony classic. He plugs a guest spot he's done for another channel. Doesn't put a link. Doesn't say the name of the channel. Just my friend insert first name and says he won't cover it on his channel because he did it there.
That's
it
a
just
good
becomes
comment.
a fun scavenger hunt to find these reviews with I say the name
like
of the
that comment.
channels
That's good.
usually.
That's nice.
I usually say the name of the channels. Come on. Do we have any others? Nope, that's it.
Oh
from
wait,
us.
I had a huge announcement. I was teasing
Oh,
at the
yes,
beginning
what
of
is
this.
your
Big announcement. Not going to be able to join the stream next month. I'm going to be abroad.
What?
So-
Why?
It's going to be a
Why?
whole new format for a month.
What are you doing?
Why?
Going to China
Oh,
and Japan.
Whoa!
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Can't.
That's a
You
good
can't.
excuse.
call
But they
in
have
from China?
internet there. You could
Yeah.
just use the
Yeah,
internet.
I'm going with my girlfriend to meet her family, and I feel like if I'm like,
What?
hold on. First off, I'm learning Mandarin, but I don't know if I know enough to communicate in cross cultural lines to be like, well, I can't have dinner with you right now because Tony needs me to talk about Electric State 2 and like the what?
So hang on. She's an AI girlfriend and you're traveling with her? What the fuck have I been missing out on, man?
No. She's a real girl, Joey.
What?
Tony met her.
I met her. She's real.
She's real?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool.
and one of the good ones, not like a crystal, like a good one.
Good
That's
girlfriend.
fucked.
I'm a really good girlfriend.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoy your trip to China and Japan.
Yep.
Thank you.
I guess just
That's
you know,
really cool.
don't ask
Wasn't it
Tony
his
if he
idea
wants to
to-
go. Just just plan a trip. That's fine.
Wasn't it his idea too that he was going to be like, yeah, we should review Daredevil next month? He's not
Was
even
I,
gonna be there.
was I included in that? I don't know.
Oh shit! Yeah, I can't.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
Well, now our Daredevil
Well,
review is going
way
to be
to fuck
us going
everything
like,
up, Gil.
Gil, text me your thoughts and I will read them
Okay.
on the show. Gil says,
Hey, Joey C, you want to go with me? We'll head over with him. That'd
Yep.
be cool. Yeah, sorry,
Absolutely.
Tony, you're by yourself next month.
Yep, we're going, baby. Ooh.
I'll do this show by myself, you assholes. I'll do it by
We know
myself.
you will.
What's coming out next month? Something stupid. The Woman in the Yard. Oh, that movie. The woman was in that
Wait, when
yard.
does when does Screamboat come out?
Probably next month, but that's going to be a limited release. That'll probably be an end of year wrap up, to be honest.
No fucking way. If we don't fucking review it, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Should I get Joe DeRosa since he's in the movie?
Is he really?
Yeah,
Oh,
Joe DeRosa's
I'm
in
trying
Screamboat.
to meet him next
Yeah.
weekend because he's going to be at this comedy festival and I'm going to be at that festival. And I was going to name drop you. I was gonna be like,
You
I know
better name
Tony.
drop Hack the
I'm
Movie.
Talk
hoping
about
that
me.
I know
worked with
Crystal. You're right.
There you go.
Anyway, title there. Make sure
That
to
was
say,
useful for me
hey,
too.
Tony from Hack the Movies. He's great. I'm also on Hack the Movies.
Wow. I'm the one that got you, Joe DeRosa, on the show, you motherfucking asshole.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's
Even
like
having
very
the damn
important.
episode.
He's very important in my life because he's on one of my favorite shows of all time, Better Call Saul. And then he was on Hack the Movies. I'm like, this is and he was on Tell Him Steve Dave. Like my two favorite podcasts, my favorite
So
show.
weird.
He's like
I
this
have
weird,
so many stories for you,
nexus
Gil, about
event in my
like
life.
Tell him Steve Day about
Oh my God.
I have so much about a lot of
And you
especially
never
comedians.
tried to get any of those guys on my show.
I did. I'm still gonna I was thinking about asking Jim Norton.
Yes. Daniel Fall for $2 says more cheese balls. Joey C, let me tell you.
We got it. Let me tell you, classic. That's wild.
Do you want Ming? I can get Ming on the show, no problem.
Please do that. Can I be
Really?
on that episode?
Yes.
Would you really? I mean, I could
Yeah.
probably get him in a monthly wrap up.
I
I
would
can ask him.
definitely. Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, get
He'll
him.
be
I
next
have-
month. He'll be
I
next
have,
month, Gil.
Okay. I have a story about him. I'll tell you afterward.
Oh my
Like a
god, I
Jeff
It's
want
not
to.
even that secretive.
I
but
mean, I got a billion stories of
He-
Ming.
Tony's
I
just
have
trying to end this
when I was
streak.
for some reason, anytime I've met like quote unquote celebrity, somebody I look up to, somehow
me.
I just like piss them off. Like I remember
You picked Ming off?
no, he defended me. And so I look up to Ming like very highly. But like 24 Jack Bauer on that show, they had like a little anytime somebody got a phone call, it would be coming from the same number. And it turned out if you called that phone, it was just like a cell phone that the cast and crew passed around. And so if you called, you got a busy signal because everybody in the world was trying to call. So I was so obsessed every day. I would just get home from school and I would call over and over for hours. And then by the time I got through, I was so exhausted. I'm like talking to an actor from the show and they would be like, "What's wrong? Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I'm not mad." I'm like, "Where'd you get this number?" And I was like, "The internet." And then they hang up on me and I was like, "Oh my God, I angered my like hero." And so that something like that happened with Tell Him Steve Dave. But Ming was like, he defended me. So
Oh, good. Wait,
Oh,
hold
but
on.
that's-
I'll text. I'm gonna text Ming right now, babe.
I thought you were talking
Hey,
about.
do
the
you ever
wrestler
want
this whole
to be
time.
on a live stream of Hack the Movies on our monthly wrap up? Question mark.
And while we wait
Should
for
it be
that,
dream come
Pico
true?
Jet Black for $2 panel is Tony the modern day Humpty Dumpty.
That's foul.
Fuck does
That's
that
foul.
mean? And then Phoenix gives $1 and nothing.
Nice. Thank you.
And then Pico Jet Black puts a bunch of Asian characters. I don't know what they say.
it says Tony likes to kiss himself in the mirror. In the mirror.
That was pretty fast. Did you look ahead and translate that?
No, I was off the dome.
You're learning really well. You're a quick learner. Alrighty, that is it for me. I'm starting to lose my voice. I need tea and I need to sleep.
Wait,
Thank you, everyone.
What kind of tea you gonna drink?
This regular Lipton tea.
Tony, what did you have for lunch today?
What a fantastic
All right,
end to this
everyone.
live
This is
stream.
a great stream.
Ending on such a high
I'm going
note.
to end the stream. I'm going
Wait,
to cut
where's
out the
Mike?
beginning.
Where's no, Mike?
He never came.
Now I'm worried about him.
I know. Someone
He'll be
find his
fine.
Fourth time in a
location.
row. I'm
No
starting
one got
to
his
think he's-
location. Is he okay?
I don't know.
He's got
Anyway.
a beard. He'll be fine.
All right. Goodbye.